Hi, I'm Mike. I'm doing a live stream. It's 4:20, and I got an edible, and I want to see where it takes me. Um, I've invited some people to join me on my live stream. So late at night, the first person to join me on my live stream is a real life robot. Ionicus, Jonah. Hi guys, welcome. Right here, Jonah. How's it going? Anyways, I'm gonna bring on a real life robot for you guys. I think you'll enjoy it.
What the hell's going on?
Ryan the robot.
What is up, my dude?
Welcome to my channel, Ryan
I'm here.
the robot.
I'm a robot and I'm here.
Yeah, you are.
And we've got the same microphone.
So the microphone that I'm currently using is the one
that I sold
me.
Yeah.
That we used to use for our podcast, 40s
yes.
and 20s.
It saw a lot of use in my backyard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we've said and done some really stupid things.
Yeah, I don't actually know like what podcast you're talking about. I don't recall a podcast actually.
It was one we did, Ryan.
I don't think we did.
No, we did. We did a podcast together.
I don't know if that happened. You can't prove it. It doesn't exist anymore.
Are there any episodes anywhere that anyone can listen to?
On a hard drive.
And then you pull out a magnet and you like wipe it.
Exactly.
Honestly, I would be very okay if those episodes never saw the light of day, because I said some things on there that I would never want anyone to hear me say.
Me too. And you know what? Now that we're talking about it now, maybe we shouldn't.
Well, I don't have to say what it is, but like, a lot of it was just shock value.
Yeah, it was a different time, which is I hate when people say that.
Mid thousands, you go through like an edgy period. That was the kind of the style of humor at the time.
I'm sorry.
We didn't know any better.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mando Love 704 is here. Mando Love.
Mando
Do you
Love.
think that man? Is it a man to love, or like they love the Mandalorian?
It's a Mandalorian love, and I think that
makes sense.
The love between two Mandalorians is very special and sacred.
Is it a sacred thing? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that when two adult Mandos share a Bacta tank, it's that's how you create little baby Mandos.
Is the Bacta tank? Do they lay eggs?
Yeah.
Do Mandalorians lay eggs?
Yes, they do.
Is it like a fish thing where like the one of them lays an egg, the other one just like squirts their stuff all over it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's say yes.
There's never been like a nature documentary on any like Star Wars thing.
Say that again. Documentary.
Documentary.
So that's notable. You just took, eh? That's
Yep.
Yeah. That happy 420.
Is that not how you say it? How do you say it?
Documentary. Oh, you know what?
Now I have you saying it.
There's a man named Terry, and he's a document.
He's a document. Terry. Yeah, I am documented Terry.
Yeah.
And we got some more people here. Ionicus, like I said earlier. I think we got Rhino Hobbies here.
Hey, that's my name.
It is actually your name.
I know.
Linda, which actually someone said Linda, but now I don't see any Linda in the list, but that's fine. Anyway, I didn't have any plans for this. I just did a live stream on my friend Dan's channel. I don't know. You probably don't know who that is.
I don't think so.
He's a much larger YouTube channel. It's
like in terms of girth.
It's length and girth actually. Oh, Mando Love is Linda. I didn't know that. Why didn't I know that? I feel like I should know that.
Do you have any insight into the mating rituals of Mandalorians?
We're so curious.
I'm very curious. How does one Mando declare love to another? Do they leave a pebble at their feet?
Like a penguin?
Like a penguin?
Penguin.
I tell people about that all the time. How Benedict Cumberbatch says penguin.
Yeah.
It's like he's an alien who's never heard the word before.
Well, he's British.
Did you?
Yeah, I put that there.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
I'm a robot.
Stud.
Stud. So you have to.
Yeah.
You're like negging me. You're cutting me down and
what?
Raising me up at the same time. I'm getting negged now.
I don't see anything negative about anything I just said.
All
If
right.
anything, that's a straight positive.
Okay.
Nothing but positivity on my channel. I want to build everyone up. I don't want to cut anyone down.
Okay.
You're a terrible person. You're kind of a piece of shit.
Okay.
No.
It's fair. Very fair.
This is my other friend, Lance Peter Luke. I sent him a link to be on this. I don't know if he's going to be on this or not, but I hope
he's better than me. I was completely unprepared.
Listen, I mean, legally, yeah, he is.
Okay.
Like first of all,
fair enough.
He doesn't have a drawn picture of Billy Mays behind him.
Billy Mays here.
Yeah. You know what? You know what I have for you?
What do you have for me?
I still have. You remember that Mandalorian? You're like, I want that Mandalorian.
I
still have it. It's right here.
Yeah.
I found it today when I was cleaning. I was cleaning my toy room. I was cleaning this area right here.
Yeah.
And
well, I haven't seen you in so long since your birthday, your 40th birthday. Yeah, I think that's the last time I saw you in person.
What?
No, maybe I think we saw each other in North Park at a bookstore.
That's true. I remember that.
This coming weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend is the book crawl. I'll be out and about again.
We'll probably be there because Lily likes the book crawl. She likes books and she likes to crawl.
I love to crawl.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you're not a toy collector, but you are a toy collector.
I am a toy collector.
I would say you're a toy dabbler.
Sure. Some people who visit my house would say otherwise because I feel like a casual collector, but then when a normal person walks into my house and sees my collection, they're alarmed.
No, that's actually true. You do have a lot of. I would say it's very eclectic.
Yeah,
it's a lot of knickknacks.
I mean,
but no paddywhacks.
I've got a lot of figures too, but they're not nearly as extensive as yours. I mean, I wish I could just collect them all and bring them in my arms and show them to you like this.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck in my office right now. That's just how it goes. I mean, I could switch to my iPad, but that seems like too much.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
My living room's right there. I was just playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the music's still going.
Have you beat it? I haven't beat it yet.
No, I don't even know. Okay, I'm like almost like 55 hours in.
Oh my god!
I don't know how much is left.
Where are you?
Go on forever. I'm at the golden nugget, the golden whatever.
Oh yeah, golden saucer place. Yeah.
Golden susser.
Yeah.
Sussy Baka.
Yeah, I'm past you. I think I'm getting towards the end of the game, but I'm like 90 hours in because I spent so much time doing everything that you.
There's so many side quests.
And I was doing really well with it and getting everything, but I've started hitting a few where I'm like, you know what? It's just not worth it to do this. Yeah. The first one, I don't know. You should have found this already from where you are, but the gym in the mountains.
I don't think I found that yet.
Okay, there's a gym in the mountains, and it's very much like the gym in the first Final Fantasy remake game.
Oh, where it has like challenges?
Yeah, but it's 1,000. It's 1,000% more bullshit. And I did it in the first game. I did all the challenges for that, and this one, I just can't. I just can't because there's a thing where it's like color differences, and it's like green and yellow, and they look the exact same to me.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it.
There's no colorblind mode.
There isn't. And then the other thing is, I don't think I'll ever be able to beat Odin. I can't. I made his summon super easy because I did all the things. Yeah. But he has like a one hit kill, and I'm like, I don't want to. Was
Odin the first summon?
Oh, what? No.
Was he the last summon?
I think he's one of the end ones.
So
Titan is the first summon.
Titan's the first one. So I've only beat Titan. I can't beat Phoenix.
Did you make him easy? Did you go around do all the things?
I went to medium and I couldn't beat him. And I was like, I refuse to go easy.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, because you go around and unlock the things, and it makes the summon
Yeah.
easier to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, I should be able to beat this, and I can't, and then I feel bad about myself.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I don't know when I hit. I feel like I hit a wall doing those things, and I'm like, now I don't want to even beat the game. Like now I don't even want to play it because I was doing so well and getting everything.
Yeah.
And I found things that I don't want to do that, and now it killed my want to complete the game.
I'll say this: the Kingdom Heartsification of Final Fantasy VII is bullshit.
I agree. I agree.
So much about Kingdom Hearts in this game that make me hate it.
Yeah.
But I'm still playing it. I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna finish it.
For those of you who don't know, because no one here knows Ryan. Ryan was in my wedding. Ryan's one of my best friends. He's in the video game industry. He's a guy. You are. No, you are.
Kind of. Video game sales industry.
Yeah.
And I got a question from your chat, from your cool chat.
Yeah, you did. I was going to point that out.
Yeah. Do you want to say it?
I want you to answer.
So Jonah asks, Ryan, what do you mainly collect? And Mike is correct. I do have like knickknacks. So some things at my desk right here are little black mage, little knit black mage. I also have a master sword encased in what I assume is amber. I think it's a dinosaur type thing where I can drill in there and extract the DNA.
The DNA. And then you have to mix it with frog DNA.
Of course.
Obviously. Of course.
I have some more, like I have a Mimikyu here. I've got way more stuff off to the side here. And then in my living room, I have a couple of shelves. A lot of stuff that you gave me. I remember for a while you were doing the loot boxes, and
that's true.
Anything you didn't want, sometimes I would come and grab stuff. So, this is a fun thing. I had to buy this fat Pikachu because I love him.
That is a fat Pikachu.
He's so fat.
He's so chunky.
I love him. Look at his face.
I'm not body shaming Pikachu.
No, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
No, it's an absolute true fact. He's fat. And this is how he was in the original card, I think, the Pokemon card.
Well, also, I would say in the original game, like from 96 or whatever, I would say he was pretty fat in that.
Yeah, he's just a chunky guy. And then for some reason, I guess for the cartoon, they made him cuter.
Yeah, for sure.
And then now everyone, when they see Pikachu, they think little cute rat. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. He started off as a chunky boy.
What's your favorite thing in your collection?
I'll go get that in a second. But I also have stuff like this, like Throg.
Is that little frog Thor? Thor frog?
Yeah, Throg.
Yeah.
And he's got
Throg, right.
In the back here.
Yeah.
Let me if you give me 1 second, because I actually
I'll
don't
give
even
you
have
as many seconds as you want.
I'm gonna take it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna shut off my camera and I'll come back with a surprise. So hold your horses.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah. So that was Ryan. I'm not gonna let him back on. That wasn't nearly as fun as I thought it was gonna be. But I don't have any play. I'm kidding. I'm gonna let him on when he's back. Let's see. Ionicus is playing with his Toxitron and G2 Grimlock. That's cool. I never got any of those. I've reached a point in my toy collecting where I'm at like critical mass, where I when I buy stuff, it's either going to sit on the floor, which is what most of us doing here, or I'm going to immediately put it in a bin, or I'm going to put it on my shelf. And if there's something that I'm like, I kind of want that, but I'm not immediately going to put it on a shelf, like, which means I have to take something off a shelf because my shelves are full, or if I don't have a spot for it, because I do have some empty spaces where I could put more stuff, but they have to be those specific things like Star Wars or whatever. And I can't. I've been not buying things, and I feel like Transformers has taken it the hardest, because I used to buy everything Transformers. Like Transformers was one of my first loves growing up. Like I liked He-Man and I liked G.I. Joe, but like I don't know, Transformers superseded all of that for me. And when I was getting back into toy collecting in my I was like 2014 or so, Transformers was what I focused on first, more than anything else. Transformers was what got me back into it. So Transformers has a special place for me in my heart, but I feel like I feel like it's gonna be the first to go. Like I'm really liking Mythic Legions. I like GI Joe a whole bunch, and I love Star Wars, and I really do like Transformers. And it's not that I don't like it anymore, but I feel like I've gotten everything that I want out of it. Like there's no representations of any characters where I'm like I've got these gaping holes. I've got two versions of the Dinobots just right here. I've got the Gigapower third-party ones. I've got the Studio Series ones they've been doing. Like, how many Dinobots do I freaking need? And I'm already starting to get another third-party set. Hold on. Like there's these King Toys ones, and I look at this and I'm like, I freaking love this. Like, how do you not? I'm gonna bring Ryan back on. He's back. Let me finish my little rant thing here first. But like I've got those other Dinobots, but then you got a Stegosaurus that looks like this, and I'm just like, yeah, I want that. And I'm afraid to see what else they'll do, because if they're as cool looking as this, I'll want those too. And then, like, do I need 3 versions of Dinobots? It's starting to get repetitive. And if I have to sell things, like, then I'm like, why am I buying them in the first place? It's just, it's one of those things that it's starting to lose some of its luster, just because I've completed it, where I just don't need to buy new stuff anymore. Anyways, Ryan, what do you got for me?
I was muted. Sorry.
Oh, I don't hear you.
Yeah. So were you complaining about how much stuff you have? Because I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And then people are like, why did you just sell it? I'm like, well, I can't choose what to get rid of. Anyway.
Why don't you get rid of a kid? Like,
yeah. Why don't you just sell your child?
Get rid of your dog. Sell your dog, Ryan. Sell your washed up little rat.
I'll bring her on the stream just to show everybody that she is a little rat. So this is a Boba Fett that is die-cast. Yeah.
Oh no. It's carbonized. It's not die-cast.
Yeah, I think it's carbonized. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this guy a lot. Now, the problem with this guy is he's not superposable, and I know that you are like the master at posing, and I've tried. I've watched you post stuff, and I'm like, I can do that, no problem. Yeah, what's the big deal? Yeah, I suck at it. I suck big time. Yeah, I can't get this guy to look cool. Yeah, he just will not pose.
In your defense, that one is impossible to pose.
It sucks.
That is a figure from 2013. It was from the very second wave. They've given it a shiny coat of paint, but relatively speaking, it's pretty old.
I can't even get the rifle into his hand. I have tried so many times, and I cannot get it in there.
Yeah, so, it's weird to say that I would consider it an advanced Black Series figure, but like if you want to get it and pose it so it looks good, you have to like really kind of know what you're doing.
So that's why I showed that one first. Sure. I just wanted your opinion on that one.
But it looks cool.
It looks great, and people comment on it when they come over. Yeah. But it's impossible to pose. Now, this next one I'm going to show is a figure of Zagreus from Hades that I love.
I have never played Hades,
and you might love it if you gave in to the gayness of this game, because it's very gay, and I love this game.
Did you see that they're doing like a Ninja Turtles roguelike game that's in the style of Hades?
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Then they just started the playtest for Hades 2, and I signed up to be part of it, but I haven't gotten in. But I can't wait for that. Next up is I have a lot of Dragon Ball Z figures, and Gohan's my favorite. So I guess for like Christmas and my birthdays, people just get me Gohan, and I'm like, well, let's add it to the collection.
Yeah, you have a little Gohan section, a little Gohan shrine.
So many Gohans.
Are you Dende from the abridged series? Where you
absolutely
clearly got a crush on Gohan.
Yeah. Like, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So next up is I love Neon Genesis Evangelion, so I have a lot of Evangelion figures. And this guy I just got recently. I think he's the newest part of my collection.
Who even is that?
This is Koru. He is one of the final angels, but he's also an Eva pilot. So it's like he's like in the last 2 episodes of the series.
Okay, so I'll be honest, I've never actually seen the end of the series.
Yeah, well,
I've seen like the first 20 episodes. It's like 26 episodes, right?
Yeah, there's 20
of the original series. I've seen like the first 20 episodes like 3 times, and I always get to the point where I just don't finish it. And part of it's because I've always heard how like bad or controversial the
last is. 2 episodes,
right?
Yeah. He shows up in 4 before the end.
Okay,
but he's there for a split second. In the rebuilds, in the rebuilds movies. So this is from the Radio Eva 10th anniversary, and they kind of did like a whole like modern style of the characters, but in the rebuilds he is in more of it, not much more, but
okay,
yeah.
Well, now I know.
And then to continue with my Evangelion, I also have a real grade Unit 02
that
I built myself.
Nice.
This was so far the hardest build I've done. Just a lot of really tiny parts.
Yeah. Oh, real grade's real tough for that. Because it's as complicated as like a master grade, but shrunk down to like 120 or 140 or whatever.
So
144, yeah.
And I've got big meaty hands, and so trying to do little tiny things is really hard. Yeah. Especially that face. The face was super difficult for me. Yeah. And the stickers. I'm always really bad at stickers. So
that's the one that Asuka pilots.
This is Asuka's, yes. Yeah. I also have another one on deck that I haven't started building yet. That's Unit 03.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be the same size as this, so I'm gonna have them next to each other.
Sure. You're gonna get an 01? You're gonna get a little.
I haven't seen an 01 yet.
Okay. I don't know if they have one or not.
They do. But I haven't seen one at the store. Like these are the ones that I found. I go to Tokyo Central and Main. It's Tokyo Main and whatever it's called, and Kearney Mesa. It's over by.
Have you been to Discount Hobby around there?
I don't think I have yet.
Oh, you should go. I've been there a couple of times and gotten when I was building Gundam kits. They got some good Gundam kits.
Next time you go, invite me. I'll meet you there. And then I have to show you. I think this is my the pinnacle of my collection. My number 1 figure of all time, and that is this kid, which I think you gave me.
I probably did.
Like a box of Lego. He was just like upside down on the bottom. So I'm like, dude, this is
it's the smile that kind of gets me. Like I feel I don't know if Jar Jar has teeth, but I feel like he shouldn't.
He's awful.
Jar Jar shouldn't have teeth.
And he barely stands up. He's so off balance.
Yeah.
I love this little shitty figure.
I feel like it's the Sonic the Hedgehog, the first version, but Jar Jar.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm nowhere near your level of collecting, but I do have quite a bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
I have a lot of different things too. Like I have a large pin collection.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff here in the back.
Sure.
I've got artwork collection, and I've got a Steelbook Blu-ray collection.
You do, and that's fun. I feel like it's one of those things that like if I could go back, maybe 5 or 6 years and start collecting like Steelbooks stuff, I probably would. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff I kind of do want
is
like
long gone.
It's too hard to get now. Yeah,
hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and that I'm not gonna pay that. It's like I'm a casual collector where I'm like, yeah, if it's like normal retail price or it's there, I'll pick it up. But I'm not gonna go out like actively searching for things and spending tons of money and sinking in.
I think the most I spent on a Steelbook was I remember buying The Dark Knight for like $150.
That's a lot.
And I was very ashamed of that. And then I bought another one that was like $200. Yeah. But it was like these were hard to find ones.
Yeah. But what's weird is I'm the same way with like toy collecting. Like I refuse to pay exorbitant aftermarket prices on anything, and that's even if like I collect it actively. Like, there's been a couple times with Black Series where there were specifically 2 releases where I just could not find them in stores, and I knew if I didn't go on like eBay, I wouldn't buy them. But even then, I only paid a couple dollars more than retail price for them. Like, I would never go, like, there's a couple things in my collection that are like $200, and I just can't, knowing that originally it was like a $20 figure, and nothing here is super old. It's not like I'm coming to this 20 years later and, you know, it's stuff from your childhood and whatever. Like, that's different, where like there's no way you can get stuff for retail price, but like knowing that I've been collecting while these things were retail price, I just can't spend that much money. It just feels too weird.
It's a bad feeling.
But you know, it's also like I don't have any problem spending a lot of money on stuff. Like some of these like $200-$300 pieces, like this guy right here, this is like $150 I spent on it. You know, like so I don't have any problem spending a lot, but that's because that's the price of it. Like you can't get it cheaper.
Right.
That's just what it costs, and I'm okay with that.
Versus a marked up figure that would have been normally $20 is now $100. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think my collection's grown a lot since the last time. I mean, when's the last time you came over to my house? Like 7 years ago?
Last year.
Did you come?
We went.
You guys come by the house?
Yeah, we came to your house. We walked around your little square.
And I let you live?
Yeah, you did.
I let you leave alive.
Yeah, because we parked in front of someone's house, and you're like,
that doesn't sound like me.
No, you did. I was there.
Doesn't sound like something I would do.
It was good. I was there. You have a little kitchen. It's a cute little kitchen.
Won't let it happen again. I'll tell you that much.
All right. I saw your cute little setup, your big couch and your little TV, and
saw my cute little butt.
Your shiny cute little butt.
I saw your cute little butt when you bent over to pick up that toy a second ago. You're wearing pajama bottoms.
I'm wearing pajama bottoms. These are pajama bottoms I got to match my nephew's pajama bottoms. I wasn't wearing pajama bottoms before, but I am now. And
you won't be for much longer. The longer the stream goes.
We'll see what its edible takes me. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube.
I do.
You want me to get kicked out, or you want to get kicked off of YouTube?
Both.
Okay. Yeah, Ionicus, I agree. Like $60 for a $25 toy, I just can't. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's a large gap in your collection, like you have 4 of the 5, and the 5th one is like twice or 3 times, like I'll do that. I
might do that. It really depends. Yeah, it really depends on that collecting.
But
for sure.
If it's 5 times or more what it was selling for, I'm like, why are these people are so greedy?
Yeah.
Like,
but well, I mean, it really depends on how recent the figure is.
Yeah.
There are some where like this is like a figure that's like 6 months old. Like that's greedy. But there's also some like this is a 10-year-old figure. They haven't made it in like 9 years. Like at some point, it's just how much a thing is going for, you know?
Yeah.
But there's always a weird gray area. Yeah, I have a hard time. That's why I try to keep current, and it bites me in the ass more than it's helped me out. Especially last year, where like, you know, a toy would come out, I'm like, I need that, and I'll buy it. It's like Target exclusive, and then literally 3 weeks later, Target's got it on clearance for like half price or something, and I'm like, I just bought that.
Yeah,
it's already half price. Like, what the hell? But I know like the day, like the minute where I'm like, I'm not going to buy that right away. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. I'll never see it again.
It's
just
gone.
It is gone. Because that's just my luck.
I remember I think you and Zach were telling me about some person had mentioned that they either worked at Target or knew somebody who worked at Target, and that there were people who just like would get stuff directly off the truck.
Yeah.
Like I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm looking for something at especially Target, I go there. I'm like, this figure just came out. It's released today. It should be in stock, and there's nothing. And I'm like, this is not a busy Target. I know there's not toy collectors that come to this Target.
Yeah.
So I think about that all the time.
Yeah, there's like targets around me that I can like easily go to. And I know there's at least 2 other people that I either collect like I do or something. But like I always will go up, I'll be searching for something. I'll be like, hey, do you have this? Like, oh, someone was just asking about that. And I'm like, I'll get them.
I'll find them.
What are they doing? Sometimes it's Zach. Like I can't tell you how many times like I'll be going down the toy aisle at like Target, and then like Zach's tall, skinny ass will just waltzing down.
Hey,
like,
what's up?
What are you doing here? He's like, we're just going down toy aisle, baby. You know what I do. You know.
It's my impression of Zach.
Yeah, we're just
hey,
with your hair swaying back and forth.
Yeah. You always have to imagine the locks swaying.
You have to. He's got pretty man hair.
Wearing those boots. Those tight jeans.
It reminds me of the Han job. I love that. You're like daydreaming over. So Ryan and I used to be in a podcast, and we did some sketch comedy videos, like little skits, little things like that.
I want to call them little. I mean, I feel bad for like thinking about them now.
Yeah,
I would have cut them down.
Oh, for sure.
The joke is not worth 8 minutes.
I agree.
Like making
especially
an 8-minute video for one joke.
Especially the Dungeons and Dragons one. That one's so long.
It drags.
It does.
I'm not a good writer. I'm sorry. I tried.
No, hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on.
All right, I'm holding.
I'm high. I can feel it.
You feel it?
But yeah. But what I was gonna say is you weren't as good of a writer as you are now. But I wouldn't ever say you weren't a good writer.
I just had a lot of lessons to learn.
You had room to grow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it also helped with that writing, and I'm a damn good writer.
You're a damn good writer.
I'm not. I'm just really good in the moment. I'm good at thinking of really stupid stuff. And then if it doesn't get written down, I will not remember it.
It's gone forever.
It's just gone.
Yeah, I've thought a lot about like, I used to write comedy sketches or try to write comedy sketches.
Yeah.
Like
we did. We tried.
Weird.
Yeah.
And I had almost a mental break with the last one we did. I was like, I'm done. I'm done writing.
This is it.
I'm done. I'm never doing this again.
The baby was the end.
Never doing this again.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I was sick that day.
Yeah. But good times in the past. Yeah. I don't know if you want me to get more stuff to show off, or do you want to talk about how you're doing? You want to maybe make out on camera? We could do that. No? Okay. I mean, offer stands.
No.
It's open offer.
No.
Lily says she's cool with it.
Nope.
She says she's fine with it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. She told me.
Mm-mm. I want you to. You're obviously you have no obligation to hang here. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I sent out a link to like 8 people.
Yeah. Am I the first one to respond?
You are the only one.
All right.
To respond, which just says how good of a friend you are. Where we talk maybe twice a week.
Yeah, if that. Sometimes once a month.
If that.
And and you know what I was gonna say I started going to therapy again this year and started going in January. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I identified was the anxiety that comes from notifications on my phone. But I mean, a lot of things center on my phone. But
sure.
We started this experiment to say, like, let's just turn off notifications for a couple apps and see how that goes. So I started with Instagram, turned off notifications for Instagram, did that for a couple weeks. I was like, this is great. Turned off notifications for Facebook. It's been great. It's been a month and a half now. I have no notifications on except for like essential, like, texting and phone calls.
How do you know when I send you a message?
I didn't. I just happened to look.
Oh, it's crazy.
It was crazy. It was a cosmic coincidence. Yeah, kismet. That's what I was trying to say. Is like it. Normally, I wouldn't see it until way later.
Dang.
But I just happened to look.
Well, I mean, that sounds healthy. Honestly, I have an unhealthy obsession with checking my phone as well.
I think a lot of us have unhealthy obsessions with our phone, and I think
dopamine. I want to know that people have seen something that I've posted, and I want to get that. I want to get that gratification from like a response,
right,
or a like, Like I just want people. I just want to know that I mattered to somebody for a second.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle, especially when you're
really
not
is.
getting it. So it's nice when you're getting it, but then when you don't have it, then it's self-destructive.
No, it's true. I would say it's even a little self-destructive when that's what you're seeking out, you know.
Right.
Yeah. T-Fan Page 101, how's it going, Brian? He's a cool guy.
His name is close to mine.
It is, but
unacceptable.
Well, you know, he just added a letter on top of it.
What do you need the B for? Get rid of the B.
Well, hold on. Why don't you add a T at the end of yours and be Riot?
Riot.
All
right, I'll do it.
Why don't you spell yours with an I like Ryan Johnson?
I would. You know what? As soon as I saw Ryan Johnson's name, I was like, "Why isn't my name spelled that way?" That's way cooler.
I want that. It is way cooler.
Give me that. That's mine now.
No, but then you get all those people like mispronouncing it, which is so weird. Like it's not different.
Yeah.
Why would you spell it? Like, why would you say Rian?
I don't know.
When would an I make an E sound?
Who knows?
I don't know either.
I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you seen the three body problem on Netflix?
Not yet. Not yet. It's on my list of things. Like, yeah, I'll probably get around to watching it at some point.
Yeah,
but I have a problem with Netflix.
Oh, you do?
Well, it's just like, you know, what if it's a really cool season for some reason they're like, you know what, we're not going to renew it, and then you've just I know I'm part of the problem by not watching it because then that's like what exacerbates the issue.
Yeah.
But I feel like at this point it's on Netflix for canceling so many shows that I am gun shy to even start something and getting invested in it.
Did you watch Fallout?
I did watch Fallout. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I did too.
I don't like Fallout.
You have a problem with Fallout? Historically,
I just never got into the games. Like my old roommate Dave, who was also friends with Ryan, like he played every Fallout game. So I have
obsessed.
Yeah, I would say that I have transitively played. I've experienced all the Fallout games. Let's say it that way. I've experienced it because it has been played so often in the same house I was, where like it's just what's happening in the living room.
You absorbed it via osmosis.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Three Dog in my sleep when he was playing through Final Fantasy 3 or not Final Fantasy, Fallout 3. I've never really been a fan of Fallout, but I was interested in the show because like I don't know, it seemed the trailer made it seem neat, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about Shogun. I watched the first episode of it, and I don't know. I had trouble paying attention.
I haven't started it yet. I keep thinking about starting it, but I know that as soon as I start it, if I like it, I'll finish it. It'll take over my life. Yeah.
Well, so it's only 8 episodes, and that's it. Those are seasons. Like that's the whole story.
Right.
It's a miniseries, so I mean, at least you have that. But yeah, you're right.
I know I'll blow through it. It'll take my whole weekend. That's what happened with Three Body Problem. I was like, well, I'll watch the first episode and see if I like it, and I blew through it.
And you blew through it. Yeah. Well, that's the other problem with when they put the whole thing out and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I prefer, and I know it's not popular, but I prefer a weekly release.
I think I'm starting to prefer a weekly release. Also.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why it's better. Like, obviously, the one reason why it's not better is you'll want to watch the next episode and you can't. You have to wait a whole week. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Waiting sucks. But being forced to wait, it keeps everyone, like, on the same page. You don't have to worry about, I blew through the whole series and you're only 2 episodes in. I have to worry about what I could talk about around you.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps it in, like, the zeitgeist longer, where, like, people talk about it longer because it's being drawn out longer rather than just like a flash in the pan. Like nobody's going to be talking about Fallout in, I would say, 6 months, maybe not even that, maybe 3 months, because
something else will come out.
Something else will come out, and it only like it was everything's right there. You could just watch it day one, and everyone talks about it for a while, and then it just goes away real fast.
Yeah. That's what I liked about Invincible. Did you watch Invincible? season 2?
I have not. We watched the first episode of Invincible season 2.
Yeah.
And then we just never watched.
It's good. That's another one that released weekly, and I was mad because each episode ends with such a cliffhanger that I was like, I have to wait another week. Ah.
Give me fill time. Give me one.
Yeah, sure. I'm reading comments right now about you being a podcast king.
Yeah.
Will Bond says podcast king my case. Jimmy James says CNN. And then Rhino Hobbies says I like weekly releases because it brings me back how I used to watch TV as a kid. And I agree with that too. Coming back home from school, literally getting off the bus and running home from the bus to watch Dragon Ball Z is such a big part of my childhood. But it did suck when you missed an episode because there's no way to watch it again until it reruns.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. And back then, especially with Dragon Ball Z, because it's serialized, like you couldn't go backwards until they went all the way to whatever the latest episode they were. Yeah. But I also remember getting super bummed where you're like watching, like I remember it was like the Frieza saga, and then it gets to a point, and then all of a sudden the next day, instead of going forward, it's like episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z. Like,
back to the Garlic Jr. saga.
No, yeah, I was obsessed.
Yeah,
I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z.
And then I would do the calculations. I was like, okay, so the next new episode will be in 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay, like I'll write that on my calendar. Okay, in 4 months it'll be summer. I can watch that. Like, yeah,
Nerd.
But yeah, weekly releases, it does take me back to being a kid, and I appreciate it sometimes. I was a little bit mad with Invincible because there's only 4 episodes, so it's like I have to wait 4 weeks just for 4 episodes. I would have just watched them all in 1 week. I definitely know I would have.
Yeah, and I guess I from what I understand, they released them in 2 chunks, partially because they weren't done with it, but partially also to extend it out a little bit longer.
And they not really a spoiler, but they talk about it in the show.
Do they?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Some fourth wall breaking in it is really good.
That's fun. Maybe that's where I heard someone say that because they joked about it. It was one of those things you just kind of pick up.
But Walton Goggins is so hot right now. He's Invincible, Fallout.
He's just so hot in general.
Yeah, I've seen I wouldn't say I've seen a lot, but I've heard that there is a lot of the Ghoul fan art and shipping. Yeah. Shipping of the Ghoul.
That's one of those things, people are like how come girls don't like ugly guys? I'm like, what are you talking about?
They love the Ghoul.
Look at the Ghoul.
Obsessed with him.
There are people obsessed with the Ghoul sexually.
Have you seen Smiling Friends?
No.
Okay, that's a cartoon I think you would enjoy. Yeah. It's really short, like 15 minutes. It's an Adult Swim cartoon, and it has a lot of YouTube personalities on the show.
Oh yeah.
And there's a couple of characters on there that people find hot that I'm very confused by. Like, there's been a lot of memes about most guys, they say hold up. They're talking about like a girl that's already hot, but like girls, when they talk about a hold up, they like show this orc creature and they're like, anybody else think this guy's hot? And it's just like it'll be like Shrek or something.
I mean, Shrek's hot.
I mean, Shrek can get it.
Yep.
Shrek can back it up.
What else are you watching?
Let's see. I fell asleep this afternoon watching the OJ Simpson documentary. Nice. And Michael Stipe is hot. REM rules. But I was watching the OJ Simpson documentary. Each episode is an hour and a half long.
Oh, Jesus.
I fell asleep.
Why would they do that? Hold on.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it?
I think it's 4 or maybe 5. I can't remember. 30.
So 30. Why don't they just make it 10 45-minute episodes? Like no amount of one singular episode of anything should be that long.
Yeah.
Of anything. Like, that's just egregious.
There are how many episodes are there? It's Jesus Christ. The running time is 467 minutes altogether. Wow.
Lobon's watching WWF Raw from 1999. You know what? So I'll be honest. Like after this WrestleMania that just happened, like I it popped all over like my TikTok and stuff, where I was so intrigued. I'm like, okay, how do you catch up? Like, do I have to go back to seasons? Is it like season 13 of WWE where I have to like keep up?
You got to start from the beginning.
Yeah. Is there filler I can skip? Is there a guide online that I can like?
I do like those YouTube channels that it's like before Fallout came out, it's like the entire Fallout timeline.
Oh yeah. So you can get more stuff in without. Yeah.
I will always watch those just because I forget some things, or
so I did after watching Fallout. I was like, what is the timeline here? Because I was very confused over like who had been around since like the beginning and when was the last bomb drop and stuff. So I'm like, okay, what's the timeline with this? And that was good to find that out. And just today I watched one on ghouls, like a lore video on like how things become ghouls or
on sexy ghouls.
Yeah, specifically Walton. How do you become Walton Goggins? What kind of a name is Walton as a first name? As a last name? Normal. First name? First name?
Walton. I don't know.
Walton.
Can I show you this cup that I'm drinking from?
Yeah, please do.
It is a Taylor Swift Eras Tour
T-Swift
cup that I got for free. I did not see the Eras Tour in theaters, but they had a surplus of these cups and they were giving them out for free. And so this is my water cup now. And it's a good cup.
Just does it taste better because it's coming out of Taylor Swift?
Tastes like Taylor. Walton's a southern thing, says Ionicus.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but
that makes sense.
I was born in the South. My name's not Walton.
Could have been.
Oh my God, what if it was? What if it is? What if I've lived my life a lie? Everyone's been calling me the wrong name. Actually, Walton Case.
Mike Case died at childbirth.
I know a Walton Case.
Yeah.
Could you be talking about him?
Oh, Walton. He was he had a full Walton. Beard out of the womb.
Oh my God. You know what's so weird is I went most of my, like a good chunk of my life. Most of my life. No beard.
Full head of hair too.
Full head of hair, no beard. Yeah. And I specifically remember around like 2011, 2010, being at Penny Lane. And like it was like the first time. Well, I did do that, but that was after this. But it was like the first time I had been like letting my beard just grow. And I remember like sitting in our seats at our karaoke bar, just like pushing my finger like into my beard, thinking how weird it was. Like I'd never I felt like it was something I wasn't allowed to do for some reason. Like I was gonna get in trouble from someone like for my beard being too long.
Right. Beard police.
And then it just became my whole personality at some point.
Now you're just beard man. Bald beard man.
I'm bald beard guy. Like I've never been clean shaven
in the past 10 years.
As long as Lily and I have been together. She's never seen me without a beard.
You could just shave it off one day.
I'm not gonna.
Just be baby face and just like come into the bedroom. I wonder if she would like try to murder you
immediately and then serve me divorce papers.
Oh my God.
Just immediately. Wouldn't even take time. It's like it'd be like a contingency she had planned where she's like, okay, execute order 66
in case of beard gone.
Yeah, there's like a little box she could like crack open.
Right, and a little
cyanide pill or something. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking she would commit suicide.
I feel like she can give it to me. She doesn't take it.
Right, okay.
It's just an option. Right. It just gives you options.
Right. Oh my God. I hope Lily's watching this. That'd be great.
She's not. She's watching Suits.
Oh, Suits. I have not heard of
Her
Suits.
sister's been watching it, so she's watching it.
Yeah. That's on HBO, right?
I don't know. I think it's on Netflix. Well, I mean, it might be, but it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So probably not on HBO because it'd be on Max at that point.
It'd be on Max, yeah.
Unless they took it off and then sold it to Netflix, I guess. Who knows what Haslab's doing?
I don't know.
Heard that guy's got a tiny penis.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Like me?
Tinier.
Bigger?
It goes inside.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know either.
I think about Daddy 2PP all the time.
Daddy 2PP.
Yeah. It's an old Penny Arcade comic.
Yeah, it is an old Penny Arcade. Remember when we used to be like super obsessed with Penny Arcade?
I still read it. Yep.
I don't think I've actually read it.
3 times a week I read Penny Arcade.
Wow.
I'm still
Wilbon says it's like a tic tac.
My penis?
Tic-tac. Yeah.
This guy?
This guy.
That's how big it is.
So big.
Oh, Mega Tokyo. I haven't heard of Mega Tokyo in a long time.
What's up, Art?
Art. That's an activity, not a name.
It can be both. You can do an art and you can be an art.
So are artists just people who specialize in this guy?
What do you think art's short for?
Oh boy, I'm getting silly. I didn't even take an edible. I don't do the weed.
Yeah, I haven't in over a year.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I don't technically even have my medical card anymore because you don't have to have one to buy it. It's legal to take.
I'm calling the police right now.
Calling the police?
I'm calling the police.
Call the police.
I'm calling the karma police. Arrest this man.
Karma police. Arrest this man.
That's the song.
Mouth. Making me feel it's like that.
Yes, that's how it goes.
I'm a good singer.
Man.
I have like a white thing on here and it's bugging me. That's how you know.
I've got a green thing on me.
This is good.
Can I show you what my office looks like with the light off?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I'd be sad if you didn't. It's got spots all over the place. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, mister. Did you get that from the internet?
Got it from the internet.
Man, what can't you get from the internet?
Anything you want, even boobies and girlfriends.
How many?
All of them.
Wow, mister.
Yeah. So many.
So many boobies.
But yeah, that's why there's like little green dots everywhere. So
I was wondering about that. I thought your camera just sucked.
Yeah. And I could turn it off, but now it's too cool.
No. Leave it. I like it. It's such a mood.
It's mood lighting. It's he likes it back there, Mr. OxyClean. Mr. Maze. I mean, he's high on coke, so he doesn't know what's going on, but
he died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
All kinds of stimulants.
But I forgot what we were even talking about.
That's fair.
Wait, hold up a second. Art is an abbreviation on Arthur?
Since when? What even is an
Arthur?
That's
like
not
the
an activity.
Knight? Like the Knight?
The Knight? Gregory Arthur?
Arthurian legends?
What?
I'm silly. Yeah, I'm 2.5 years sober, Michael.
Yeah, I know. I'm really proud of you.
2.5 years, and
I'm super proud of you.
I have had like a couple of gummies, but they're mostly CBD. I don't really, I don't enjoy the THC, so I don't partake. But I don't have anything against people who do. I think it's great.
Thanks, man. I
feel like it. If it, you're being safe. You're not going to overdose on some pot.
If you can, I can try. But no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just,
I know you love a good challenge.
I do love a good challenge. Speed run.
Speed run. Go. Weed speed run.
Any %.
Oh, boy. Well, I need to get going. And I thank you for having me. And
thank you for being on.
Your chat has been really wonderful.
Yeah, everyone's pretty cool.
Can I give out awards for my favorite?
Yeah, please do. Okay.
Okay.
Give me a name.
Number one is definitely Rhino Hobbies because we share a name. I mean, Ryan Rhino.
Right there.
That's number
Bald
one.
beard guys rug. Okay.
You misspelled suck, by the way.
Me?
Just no, he did. He said I think he meant to say suck, but he put an R and an O there for some reason.
Oh, I get it. So okay, so you're saying that the bald beard guys suck. Is that
that's what he probably meant? Yeah, I think he meant to
okay,
say
I
that.
see.
Yeah.
All right.
Second place, I got to give it to Ionicus for
okay. Number 2.
Yeah, number 2. He's been engaging in the chat. And then finally, I got to give third place to you, Mike.
Oh, thanks. I'm the third place in chat.
Yeah,
that's good.
Because you know what? You put one comment there. Check your DMs.
I did. That's true.
Which is called engagement.
That is. I'm giving myself engagement.
That's
I'm self-engaging.
You do. Oh boy. Anyway,
I like the name Jimmy James, but I think it'd be funnier backwards, like Jamesy Jim.
Jamie Jim.
Yeah.
Jamie Jim.
Jamesy Jim. Did you get invited to Jim's wedding?
I did, yes.
Me too.
And I'll be going.
Yeah, we'll probably going to.
I like that it's I liked your wedding a lot.
Thank you.
I like when it's they're doing the wedding beforehand and then they're going to Vegas and they're coming back and just having like a brunch with everybody. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. I'm like, I'll go to that.
I agree.
So I'll be there. And his place is like right down the street from me. I know you have to travel.
Yeah, I have to go a little further, but yeah.
Good. I can walk there. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on.
I will I'll see you never. I'll smell you later.
What?
Oh wait. Oh, Bowie, come here. She's sleeping. It's animal time.
Oh no.
Yes. Look at our children.
Look at my
God.
son.
My daughter. Yes, you're a stinky girl.
Pride is not a word I've been looking for.
Look at how long her legs are. That's ridiculous.
Got long legs.
You were there. You were one of the first people to babysit Bowie.
That's
you
true.
And Lily. Look at her stupid face.
We watched that stupid dog so many times.
Hey, Lily's here.
Hey, Lily's there. She heard us talking about pets and stuff.
So she logged on to say hi to Bowie because she misses Bowie.
Bosifer.
She misses Bowie.
Bowie.
Bowie
to Bowie.
Bowie to Bowie. Okay, we're gonna go. I'm gonna play Final Fantasy. Hi, Lily. Bye, Lily. I miss you. Everybody else, thank you for having me. Bye.
See you. And here I am, all by myself. So I have nothing planned. He raged quitted. So I got nothing. Well, I don't even know what I could talk about. How's everyone else? So what other things you guys watching? You guys watching any anime? I watch anime. I really like what have I been watching? I watched Solo Leveling. That was pretty good. I like that. Shangri-La Frontier, kind of fun. I enjoyed that for the most part. Frieren, super good. Very sad. And then Mashal is a lot of fun about basically Harry Potter, but a guy with no magic, but he's got big muscles and he does everything with his muscles that people do with magic. I'm not drinking anything whatsoever. I've got zero sugar Dr. Pepper. That's what I'm drinking, is zero sugar Dr. Pepper. I love Samurai Champloo. I haven't seen it in years, but I mean, what's his name? Is it? I think it's Kenshiro Kenshiro Watanabe, I think is the creator's name, or Watanabe Kenshiro. I think it's Kenshiro Watanabe. But he did, obviously he did Cowboy Bebop. He did Excel Saga. I love all of that. I'm I really like his stuff. It's good stuff. But Samurai Champloo was fun because I like the mixture of the hip hop with the anime and the samurai. I haven't tried Zero Sugar Baja Blast. What did you think? Um I mean, regular Baja Blast is really good. So I hope it's good. Yeah, he is epic. Let's see. Going back up because I don't think I saw everyone here. I know most of these people that have talked that I missed, most of them aren't even watching anymore. But we have 15 people watching. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, what happened was I was on Dan Larson's Secret Galaxy live stream earlier. Um, he's made me like the co-host of their weekly or bi-weekly little live stream thing, which is very flattering. It's fun that he's friends with me, and I don't know why or how, but it's fun. Um, but afterwards, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to keep the party going. I kind of want to keep live streaming because I haven't live streamed on my channel in a while. I used to do it monthly, and then I don't know, it became kind of a chore. And I was also going through just some mental stuff. Like I just didn't feel like I mean I haven't made any videos on my channel in the last 4 months, other than the two I made this month. And part of it was, there weren't any Black Series figures. But there are other videos I could have made, but it just felt like it was too much work, and I just didn't have my heart in it. And then I don't want to do it if I can't commit or if I don't feel like it's gonna be good. So I just haven't made any videos this year so far, except for the two that I just made, and I don't think they're my best work, but it was fun getting back into it. I think when the Droidica Destroyer Droid comes out, I'll probably make like a real in-depth like mic case video that I usually do. Instead of just what I've been doing is literally off the cuff, like opening up the toy and talking about it right away without thinking about anything, without doing any research. And it's fine. It's less work for me, which makes me more inclined to do it. I will definitely do a Hammerhead review when he comes out by himself. That's gonna be a must. Mammon Naden has been on my wish list for a long time, so I'm definitely going to be doing that. I've heard great things about Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things. Yeah, there's been like GI Joes I got that I could definitely talk about, like this Metalhead guy. I love the original toy, but I don't super love this, and I could make a lot of videos about why. But it just kind of seems, well, it seemed like a lot of work, and I just more work than I had the energy for. But I'm getting better. I think I'm definitely getting back in the groove. I think also part of it, and this is by no means anyone that's watching this fault. It's just like YouTube algorithm stuff. But like my views have been dropping, and that's because I haven't been posting as regularly as I used to. And that's just but also I just feel like it's kind of a negative cycle where it's like when I know, and this is stupid because I used to post all the time without getting any views back when I was first starting out. And I shouldn't care about the views, but when you've been doing at a point and you see that point gradually getting lower and lower and lower and lower, uh, it is, no matter what, mentally it's not fun. But again, it's like that's no one's fault. It's my fault. It's the algorithm. It doesn't really matter. And I also get to the point where I felt like it was hard just to. I wanted to buy a toy without it feeling like I'm also giving myself work. Like I remember I would get a shipment of figures in and I wouldn't open them up because I'd save them for a live stream that I was gonna do in like a week or whatever. And I felt like, most people when they get a toy, they just open it up and enjoy it right away. They don't have to worry about sharing that. They don't have to worry about taking I don't know what's happening. They don't have to worry about taking pictures of it, like where I feel like it's expected of me. Like if I got a toy and I didn't take pictures or talk about it, people, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much of myself, assuming anyone would care about my thoughts are on that. I used to just get my thoughts out because I wanted to. Even if no one saw it, I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. And I think that's important. And somewhere along the way you lose sight of that. But yeah, I definitely I needed a break to just kind of reset all that, I guess. Um, yeah, the problem with taking Metalhead's leg rockets off is that he has those stupid nubbins sticking out of his legs, and you can cut that off or whatever, but then you can't put them, you can't put the rockets back on if you ever want to. So, I really wanted to like Metalhead, but I feel like not being able to put the rockets in the little rocket launchers without the smoke effect sucks. Which is stupid because like, what does it matter if he's got his rockets in the launchers or not? I'm sorry, they what? Oh, I see. They're part of this. Oh, I didn't. I don't even know why I didn't notice that. It's obvious now that I look at it, but before I did not see that the little nubbins are part of this little overlay, and you can just take that off. Wow, I feel really dumb. Yeah, I get that, Ionicus, and I used to be the same way. Like, I mean, I used to I used to give myself toy reviews before like YouTube was a thing. Like in high school, I would organize all my Power of the Force 2 Star Wars figures. I organized them by movie they were in and then alphabetically by name. So, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and eventually Episode 1. And I never really did that past having Episode 1 figures. But like I would organize every character by the movie they were in, and then within that movie they would be alphabetical. But I would like I would rate them like in my head, like what I liked, what I didn't like, stuff like that. I was a weird kid. I still am. Still am a weird kid. Uh, yeah, I feel like I should have like a toy to open or something, but I don't. I really, really, really don't have anything to open or play with. Everything I've wanted to has been open. I do need to clean all this stuff up. Like this is a box full of shelving and stuff that I used to use. All this stuff has come off the shelves. Like I just don't have space or room for. These are just two big tubs of toys that are things I used to have on my shelves, and now they're in here. It's like all my Power Rangers Lightning collection, all that stuff from my shelf into the bins, and that's again kind of why I don't really want to like collect that much as I used to anymore, because I feel like most of it just goes into a bin. And like, did I get enough out of having it on my shelf for a couple months before I put it into a bin to, to be worth owning it? Like, what's the point of even owning it if I'm just gonna bin it at some point? I know that people. I think someone said they like to rotate their figures out, and that sounds cool, but it just seems like a lot of work. Yeah, man, it's weird. I feel like they put the line on hold, and like I don't get why they put the line on hold. I get they they're not going to be making any more Power Rangers like seasons, but there's still so many toys they can make. Was the interest in the line really that dwindled? I don't know. It's weird that they just stopped making Lightning Collection. I feel like it was doing pretty well, but I was at the point where I was kind of over it. Maybe that's true for a lot of people. Um, it wasn't even because the line was ending. I hadn't collected any Lightning Collection figures in a long time. I think as soon as they started branching off into like they were doing like Karate Kid Power Rangers and like uh Street Fighter Power. I don't know. Like none of that appeals to me. But also I wasn't buying anything that was actual Power Ranger stuff. Like anything I bought, I cared about it because it was the Sentai. Because I'm a little stuck up like that. Because I do like Sentai. Which, speaking of which, the Alien Rangers on Amazon, they're an Amazon exclusive. They were like $100, $120. They're on sale for like half price. They're on sale for like $60 right now. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's like $10 a figure. I want that. And then I just realized I wouldn't display it. Like I'd spend $60, I'd have it, pull them out, pose them, take some pictures, amuse myself, and then immediately put them in a bin. And that just doesn't seem like it's worth $60. Yeah, finishing the remastered series. There's a lot of things that like it feels like there's something else going on. Like it was a weird cutoff spot. And there's a lot of teams they never finished. There's a lot of teams where they just started it. I think they just did their first it was like Lightspeed Rescue figure and then they had like one and then they cut the line off. So like what's the point? Who's going to buy that? The only reason you'd buy it in the first place is if you're going to complete the team. Like who goes, yeah, I really want to collect just all the Blue Rangers, or I only need 3 of this team instead of the full 5. Like it's just like if they're not going to complete it, no one wants to buy it, and that's just kind of weird. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Like I think I'm done. I'm done with Power Rangers. Even if it comes back, I don't. I'm out. I'm getting out of Marvel Legends. I already cut it off to just X Men. And at this point, I have all the X Men I think that I want, and those will probably like so those are gonna come down. I'll free up a little space there. I have to find a spot right now for my vamp. It's on the floor, and I just don't know what to do with it. I gotta clear out. I've got a little Jurassic Park Hammond collection, like the T Rex and stuff, and I think I'm gonna take all that down. I mean, thankfully, I didn't spend full price on literally anything over there, but I would rather have like a that shelf for other stuff, and that's the thing is I'm trying to have to cannibalize my shelves now for things to like display things that I do want to display. Like I've got Cosmic Legions figures that are coming any day. Well, not any day, but whenever they get released, the next wave. The next wave I have the whole wave of, so I have to find a spot for that. There's more GI Joe stuff coming out. Like I don't know what to do with this vamp, and then I've also got the Dragonfly coming. I don't know what to do with the Dragonfly. What do I can I hang it from the ceiling? I don't trust myself. Yeah, so you bought them, but you bought them severely like below the cost. So like no one wants to pay full price and support a line that where they can't promise or they don't intend to complete teams, which is why I don't understand why they didn't go through the teams in order. Like just start with, if you want to start with Power Rangers, do those and then work your way through, then go Zeo, then go, Turbo and whatever came after that. Just can't keep going in order. And then that way, if you do get cut off, you get canceled, whatever, like at least the teams you've made have been completed to that point, instead of just random hodgepodge. It's weird. Can't believe I have 18 people watching this right now. And I am high right now. Just so you know. I'm Yeah, it's weird. We even I even moved we like moved house, and part of the thing that I got here was a bigger space so I could put more shelves up and I'll have more space. And I feel like that quickly got eaten up. And it kind of sucks. And part of that is because toys just keep coming out. They just keep making them. They like what was it? I have a spreadsheet here. I think last year, and this is just Black Series because I don't really keep track like this for anything else. Partially because of my podcast, I want to make sure I've got all this stuff on record. So last year, 2023, there were 100 releases, of which I purchased 78 of them. The year before that, 2022, there were 105 releases, of which I purchased 99. 2021, there were 68 releases, of which I purchased 65. So it's grown exponentially, except for 2023 and 2022 were very similar, and I actually picked up less in 2023 because at that point 2023 was the first year where I stopped being a completionist, where like I had to get everything. um 2022 was so crazy it basically killed that for me. But like, getting 70 new figures in a year just for Star Wars alone, like that's the first 4 years of the line. I don't even think there were 70 like figures released. Like that's bonkers getting that many in just a year. It's crazy. And again, that's just Star Wars. Oh, yeah, someone wants to offer. Oh, that's Twitch. Whatever. I'm on Twitch and I'm on YouTube. I don't think anyone's watching from Twitch, but maybe they are. Um, I can't do anything about Twitch chat stuff from here. So if anyone's watching from Twitch, sorry. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, like you run out of room so much faster. And then I made the mistake of getting into a whole new line um of Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions. So then any shelving space I did free up got immediately taken from that. I'm collecting too many lines as it is, like Star Wars and Transformers and Mythic Legions and GI Joe. It's too much. So like at some point something's got to go. And I've been slowly weeding things out, like Marvel Legends, Power Rangers. I'm getting that way with Transformers, which sucks. I think I said this earlier, but like that's like my favorite thing. Transformers is what got me back into the line, but like fewer and fewer Transformers are coming out that I want. Like we didn't do a top 10 figure list bots and shots for last year, partially because like I didn't feel like I had 10 bots I'd put on it from what I bought. So yeah, it just I've got a nice little turtle section up here. You can see a little bit of them. Uh I'm Everything's just growing so much, and I'm not even happy with the way this looks. Like I don't like this shelf right here. I don't I wish I had more of these shelves, but I don't know. I get it. Zach and I still hang out all the time. We go down to Ninja Exchange and we'll just hang out at each other's house. I only went to his house one time, but it's a whole thing doing bots and shots. Being 42, it takes me like 3 days to recover from a bots and shots episode now. So if we don't do it like Friday night, I'm done. Yeah, so I'm mostly out of TMNT as well. Like I was buying the NECA figures as the cartoon packs specifically as they were coming out, and I can't collect them anymore. So I've saved just the turtles. Let me pull this up here so you guys can see. This is most of my turtle collection. I've got the 1/4 scale turtles, movie turtles. Then back here, I've got the one 6-scale NECA movie turtles. So they're the same as these, but smaller. And then I've got, I think what are these? These are the Super 7 turtles here. Then below that, these are the DC, like the Batman versus Ninja turtles right here. Here I've got more NECA, but the comic NECA turtles. Here I've got the SH Figure Arts turtles, and then the NECA cartoon turtles. And then down here I've got a KO of the original NECA turtles, and then I've got the coming out of their shell pack of turtles. And like, if more turtles come out where I'm like, oh, I want those turtles, like the Mezco ones, I mean, it was tough. It was a tough ask spending $400. I don't think that would ever work out for me to do. But like, I'm tapped out on space for turtles. In fact, I really should get rid of these guys right here, so I've got room for more Mythic Legion stuff, because like these are just odd men out. Like they don't really fit. They don't fit with the ones on the first shelf, and they don't really fit here. So I don't know. The TMNT, MMPR TMNT ones, I had a hard time putting them up, but I didn't display them with my turtles anyway. I displayed them with my Power Rangers. And yeah, I put them up. I'm not gonna get rid of them. At least I'm not right now. But I didn't feel like they fit in with the regular turtles. So I didn't put them out at all. Thinking of buying some Super 7 Godzillas. I mean, good luck. I'm pretty over Super 7. I've got the turtles, obviously, like the 4 main turtles. But everything else, and I don't love those. They've got issues. I just, they've never made anything where I've been like, yeah, that's good. That's worth the full price for. No, they've never done, like, I have one Transformers Ultimate that one of my subscribers sent to me. It's the Optimus Prime, and I'm like, this is awful. This is basically garbage. None of the other ones I've handled have really, they've just, I just don't get the appeal, I guess. Like, no Ultimates really felt like something that's worth me owning. But you know what? If you like Super 7, if you like their stuff, absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty done with NECA now that I've got the let me bend this back up here. Oops, like that. There we go. I've got the the gargoyles here. I've got the ones I want. I completed the set. I've got Lexington, Broadway, Brooklyn, Hudson, Goliath. I've even got Demona, and I've got Bronx. Like, there's no one else I need. I bought the Xanatos Steel Clan, the red armor one. He's right. He's like right here. He's barely off screen. And I don't know, like, I don't need to collect any more of the line. They could release so many figures. The only thing that sucks that I'm gonna miss out on is I prefer the folded wings. Like, I've got the Goliath's folded wings. This came with Bronx, but I'm not buying other figures that I don't want just to get folded wings that I do want. So that just means I don't get the folded wings, which sucks. But it's just it's at a point where I don't know what else they could do in that line that would make me buy it for sure. Oh, thank God. Ken Plume.
Well, hello there.
Hi, welcome.
I pulled you up to see if you were still going, and I got to mute you.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So, how are you?
I'm high.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't have any lights set up. I have nothing. This is all impromptu.
I like it. No, that's what I was going for too. It's like I don't have any plan. I just felt like going live, and I did so. I went live.
Well, how you doing? I heard you were. What I heard was a bit of a dissertation on having to make choices about moving on.
Yes. Yeah. Between toy lines, is it worth collecting still? Like when push comes to shove for shelf space, and you just don't have any more. Like what do you stop collecting, or what do you take down so that you can continue collecting?
Do
what
you
you want?
feel it's just about shelf space? Or are you starting to get that sort of, if it's away in a box, what's the point of keeping it?
That's my point. Is if it's not something that I am willing to currently display over other things, like should I even buy it in the first place? Like even if it were $2, like is it worth even spending that $2 to get something that I have absolutely zero intention of displaying on my shelf?
What I mean, I have decades
Sure.
where this, and deep, it's end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, some kind of storage when it comes to
Right.
stuff. What I have found is my interests come and go, and
Sure.
also something new may spark an interest or a renewed interest in something that I already have.
Yep.
And I like the idea of, oh, I have that, and now I really enjoy that thing again. I'm glad I have that, and I'll pull that out and it'll make it
Sure.
into the display or the rotation. And if I had gotten rid of it, then I would have to rebuy it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not really talking about getting rid of things, although I'm not above selling things.
Just cycling them off the shelves.
It's mostly just about maybe not buying something in the future in the first place. Right. Like if I can put that through like a ringer in my head of trying to decide, like, is this like a current shelf worthy piece?
For me, I guess the determining factor is, would it go up on the shelf at point of purchase?
Right.
And is it already shelf worthy? As if it's
right.
just going to go straight into storage and to say that I got it, then yeah, that calculus is certainly there, just financially at the very least now.
And that's basically what I'm talking about, because I can't tell what I'm going to care about in 6 months or whatever. Something new might come out, or my tastes just change. So I'm not going to say like, do I want this in the future? It's if I buy this, will I display it right now? And that's it's helping me basically just weed out things.
I heard that you've already eliminated Marvel Legends as.
Yeah, well, so the only shelf I currently have, I have a shelf and a half dedicated to Marvel Legends, and it's all just the stupid. It's all just.
Imagine when that shows X-Men up at a memorial service.
I know
in StreamYard.
It's not StreamYard. It's my Mac, is what it is. It does this thing and doesn't even do it when I want it to. I don't.
No, it does it when it feels you need it.
It doesn't. That's right. It just listens to my heart. But yeah, I've got X-Men, and the bottom shelf below it, half of it is the bad guy X-Men, like Brotherhood of Mutants and stuff. And there's just nothing else that I want to add. Like there's no other members of the team I'm missing. Like I've got basically a complete collection of that, and I don't want to collect anything else in Marvel Legends. Like.
So none of the like X-Men 97 is not exciting you to get anything from that line?
Well, I've completed the team that I would want from them. Like I've got Rogue, I've got Gambit, I've got Cyclops, I've got Wolverine, I've got Nightcrawler, I've got Bishop, I've got Storm, I've even got ones that aren't in there. I've got like Psylocke, I've got Archangel, I've got Iceman, I've got Morph because they just did one. I've got Jean Grey, I've got Colossus. Like that's my team. That's who I care about. And I've got Professor X. And there's no new character I would want to add to it. There's only maybe if they do a better version of that character. Basically.
Which, I mean, that's where they got me on the Nightcrawler and the Wolverine and the Cyclops and the Jean Grey. Is that they're consistently better than the ones that were up previously.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of burned me a little bit too. Like I didn't buy the only new ones I bought from X-Men 97. I bought Magneto because I was missing that look of Magneto in the first place.
But just the M on this costume one. You didn't want the classic.
No, I didn't want the M. No, I wanted the classic like red suit, helmet, Magneto.
I mean, I wanted that just for a gag. Also, it's a good figure, but I wanted to make my Paul McCartney Magneto and Titanium Man song photo.
That makes sense.
Because there's a good Diamond Select Titanium Man now. So you didn't buy this, is what I'm hearing.
I didn't buy that one. No, I bought the classic suit one from the first wave. So I didn't buy any of them for the second wave because I had them all. And some of them, like Cyclops, where I'm like, okay, that Cyclops looks really good. But I also just bought the VHS Cyclops, which is mostly the same Cyclops.
The fact that they did that VHS line, knowing that 97 line
correct
was coming.
That's what kind of turned me off a lot on it. Was like, I literally just, if I hadn't just bought all those characters in the VHS line, I would have bought every figure from the X-Men 97 wave, no questions asked. And it was a
bit of a dick move.
It is a dick move.
And we're seeing that a lot. And
Jimmy James, I will never buy Dazzler. I do not care about Dazzler. You can't make me care about Dazzler.
You'll never buy a Dazzler figure?
Never. Nope. I didn't buy the one in her roller skating outfit. I didn't buy the one that was based on the comics that was also in the X-Men video game.
Somewhere Robo is shedding a single tear.
I'm sure he is. And I'm so sorry I hurt his feelings. But I just never cared about Dazzler. I do not care about Dazzler. She just turned sound into light.
Speaking of sound into light, or just light shows, I'm assuming that you're going to be getting Jubilee when a proper trench coat Jubilee comes out in that X-Men 97 line.
No, because I've got the trench coat Jubilee from the VHS series.
That's not the trench coat. She's not in the trench coat in the VHS series, is she?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the 3-pack where she was in the uniform. They haven't done trench coat.
What the yellow trench coat?
Is she? Do you have a trench coat one? I thought they just did the one in the 3-pack with Forge and. Now, when was that? Was in the VHS line? Now, which body is that on? Is that on the pin body? You're muted. Still muted.
Weird.
And now you're on the different mic.
It's pinned. What? Oh my god.
This Mac just has it in for you tonight.
All right, how's that?
Yes, better. That's your proper mic.
All right. Yeah. No, they actually this is the second time they released this figure.
Wasn't aware.
The first time was in the Caliban wave.
So how many years old is that figure now?
I feel like that came out in 2018.
Is that
the first one? The
early?
Caliban wave. The Caliban wave, I'm pretty sure, was in like 2018 or 2019.
So that is overdue for a new figure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she's got pins in all of her joints. They did with the VHS. They did give her a new head, which is a lot better. And there's an alternate one with the bubble blowing and whatnot.
I mean, that's that wave I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be one more wave and done.
One. I feel like they didn't have any plan though, because was it? I think Ryan last live stream was like, "Listen, it takes a long time to make a figure," kind of thing. I think he's trying to set expectations that there won't be another X-Men 97 wave for a while.
So they would have not had Jubilee in their plans for those initial waves.
So. I think maybe they were waiting for the reception of the cartoon before they made more. And it got delayed a bunch.
I mean, because those rolled out so fast and in time for the show, which again is something we don't see that often.
Well, I think that's because they were initially like.
Well, that show was supposed to premiere last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they actually sat on it. It's unlike most of the movie lines where they just go ahead and dump it.
Right. No, they sat on it for a while. Yeah.
But that means that this would have the original production numbers, right? Before whatever it is they're doing with the Star Wars lines now, which is what, like 10 figures and done?
Yeah, I think so. It feels like it, but I feel like it's a good thing. It's weird, but I feel like the line was healthier when it was harder to get figures.
As long as the pre-orders are easy.
Right. Yes, I agree with that.
And whatever's happening with Ki-Adi-Mundi, which seems like the weirdest game.
It's because they didn't do pre-orders for him. We would have.
But they could announce, like they know when it's going to be ready. They could give a ballpark.
They did announce. They said spring 2024.
Spring 2024 is over in a matter of weeks.
I mean, well, true. But I mean, he's going to be out any week.
So you think it's going to be like that last
it's going to be like
M and Wasp drop, where it's like, hey, here's this announcement, and by the way, you can go order it now.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's already places you can pre-order him. There's smaller.
What's your
stores
buddy
like
up in Canada, right?
Toy Snowman, a couple other little stores, and what that means is they're going to get them in soon, because they have them on order and they're getting shipped to them.
So how many are you getting?
I'm going to get the one, but I haven't pre-ordered any yet. I'm waiting for. Yeah, I think that this is accurate. I think at this point they're probably holding off until May 4th
for a May 4th drop.
Yeah, I think it'll be like one of those things where they do a May 4th and then like it'll be available in 2 hours or something like that.
May 4th is a Saturday though. They're going to make them work on a Saturday.
Well, they pre-recorded it.
Yeah, it still has Patrick.
Yeah. That's that. Yeah, it's that old. I've seen this one before.
I'm glad to be here. Love Star Wars.
Patrick.
Do you already know what you're going to do? What the first photo is you're going to take with Ki-Adi-Mundi? You must have so many photo plans for that.
I honestly don't. I let it come to me as I'm playing with it.
But you're excited. And that's exactly how Ki-Adi-Mundi wants it to come to you.
It's true. I'm honestly more excited about the Phase 1 Clone Trooper than I am the Ki-Adi-Mundi.
More excited after getting that 2-pack?
Yeah. I mean,
Did you get it for the discounted price? Did you get it for the...
I did. So that's the only reason I have 2.
I'm shocked they let that stand.
I would be surprised if they didn't, because that's like if you were in store and they do that, they have to honor prices like that all the time. So
not if you're Walmart. Walmart will just tell you, no, it was a mistake. Sorry. Give it back. Now you don't get to get it because you called us out on it.
Yeah, now no one gets it.
Oh, and don't check the weight on that meat.
I saw that. That's crazy. It's like half the weight. That was nuts.
It's I don't know what's happening with the stuff that I'm getting right now. I mean, I made a decision not to get that Super Battle Droid C-3PO pack. It just $50 right when they're playing that same pre-order game of, well, we told you it's months from now, but it's all going to be dropping in the next few weeks.
Sure. Yeah.
And after that bomb of last fall, when so much came out at the same time. That
was rough. Yep.
And to know that not only are they doing this, that they're about to announce another Haslab.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dreading what that's going to be and how much that's going to cost. Like, they don't have many big ships left.
Right. And here's the thing. What would it be where you're like, no, I'm good?
I think it's going to be anything over 300 is just a bridge too far right now.
Okay.
250 is sort of like the upper edge.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call it a sweet spot for me would be like 150 to 200.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see a Haslab. I could see feasibly a Haslab that's even a playset in the 250 range.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's going to be Cantina. If I were to put my money, it's on a Cantina playset. I'd be excited about that. But more than 250 for a Cantina playset is not going to be worth it for, I mean, because that's the same job as Throne Room.
I was going to say it'd have to be somewhere around the same kind of size, and
we only got one figure with the Throne Room, but that's a really thick set.
Sure.
And as far as figures, as far as the initial figure offerings before you get to tiers, I mean, you kind of have to do a woo her. You got to have a woo her.
Yeah.
It seems like the Tonica sisters are. It's just they gotta just be done with that. And
do you think what if they put them on separate tiers and only like one of them gets funded? Do you imagine all that? You only get one.
I think Victoria would go on a warpath at that point. Well, you didn't say time for Tonicas.
That's right. Just one Tonica, actually.
I mean, the ghost, I was worried about that happening.
Yeah.
With getting so close to the end of that. But then the fact that they didn't add on Sabine to that is ridiculous.
I'm wondering if that was just a genuine oversight, or...
You don't have that many tiers that you already had ready to go at the announcement and not have that as part of your calculus.
Maybe they did it that way because they just weren't confident for it to unlock all of them, and they didn't want... Because here's the problem. If they do those figures and say they're tiers and it doesn't make it, they can't then go make those figures separately, because then what they're telling people is, oh, you don't have to unlock them. We'll release those figures at some other point.
But you could have hedged. Well, I mean, the thing that was the benefit of all of those was that they could make, like, if you're talking about carving it out for Ahsoka availability, they were different versions of those characters. Meaning they were their Rebels look rather than their Ahsoka look. So they can put out the Ahsoka version and say, okay, well, you're never going to get the Rebels version because you didn't fund the Haslab.
That's true.
It's not like Malakili had a different hat that you could put out.
No, that's true. He's now I want a Malakili with like a nice feather boa, like a little fedora with like a big...
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have like his dress shawl or whatever his...
What does Malakili wear when he's going about town?
What's his chef's hat? He works as a chef, right? Isn't that like canon?
Right. Yeah, it's true.
He's working in Mos Espa as a chef at a restaurant.
That's one of the things.
He's one of the figures that's easiest to just swap heads onto. So I could put tons of hats on him.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I loved about the like mid 90s, early thousands era of Star Wars EU, is they had the time to just take a random person with 30 seconds of screen time and just give them a crazy backstory. Like they had like the Tales of the Cantina books and stuff like that. We're like,
Tales of Jabba's Palace, and
we're like, here's an alien who's on screen literally for half a second.
Because it didn't matter to George. He didn't care what happened because he would disregard anything he wanted or pick and choose anything he wanted from it.
True.
He was not. I was just having this talk today with someone about Disney's preciousness when it comes to the franchises, and this is a discussion I've had about the Muppets in the past. And them, wanting to not acknowledge that there are performers who perform these things and they are puppets, and that is part of the magic and should be celebrated just as much. It's like you're not preserving any magic by ignoring what goes in to create these things. But was talking about the idea that you wouldn't have Robot Chicken. You wouldn't have the fan films that George endorsed and judged and picked a winner from officially sanctioning fan films to happen. Because you had with Lucasfilm under George, this is where the buck stops. This is the ultimate arbiter of, you can do that with Star Wars. Yeah, you can have permission to do that. That was one person who owned the company who could ultimately give an approval to do something if he wanted it to happen.
Right.
And you don't have that within a corporate structure. It's just not, you're going to have so many layers of middle management that are protecting that brand and have different views of what protecting that brand means. And it's all going to be hedging on the side of, let's not risk it. Let's not, in any way soil this or undermine it or disrespect it or make fun of it, because somehow that might ruin it by having a sense of humor about the brand. I mean, Star Trek. Yeah. I really respect what they've done with Lower Decks, and
well, until they canceled it this year.
I think that has more to do with animation contracts and avoiding payouts that it would mean going to a 5th season. I think that's less about the creative, what they were doing, and the the popularity.
Yeah,
something tells me we're going to get a follow up. You know, Star Trek slightly higher decks,
middle decks.
Yeah. And honestly, conceptually, they are getting promotions. They can't be lower decks forever, unless you're
once you're out of lower decks. It's like the show Prison Break. Like he broke out in the first season. Then what? Why is it still called Prison Break?
It's Prison Broke.
Prison Broke. Yeah. Yeah, they can't be like getting promoted to like, you know, even ensign or like lieutenant.
But then you also start dealing with the same thing with high school shows.
Yeah.
Well, then people don't all go to the same college.
That's true.
You get
a solid 4 years out of this show, and then you gotta end it or change it.
It's not like Starfleet's going, you'll work good together. Here's just a ship of your own. You all get transfers to it. Enjoy.
Everyone's going at the same time. Yeah.
So having to figure out those machinations. It's like, well, I love the high school shows. Like when you think of like 90210, when they're like, well, they went to college, but they decided to go to community college in town, and so didn't get into college, so now they're working at the coffee shop that they all hang out with.
Yep. So everything's still the same.
So, but the franchise and the figure wise, ultimately, Lucasfilm could allow and push all of these minor figures to get out. Because I think also this is also factoring in the fact that you had Toys R Us and a lot more brick and mortar and a lot more numbers that could be sold, and kids were actually buying them at that time. But a lot of George's income to make the movies was on merchandising. So he was approving a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Like put the characters out there, make the merchandise available.
There were outlets for it. Jar Jar tongue suckers.
We got so much Jar Jar. We got a Pez dispenser I'm going to be opening soon.
Nice.
But I don't think that we'll ever have that age again.
No.
I don't think we'll see those weird, unique characters. I mean, look at the Black Series.
Yeah.
But they're not even weaving them in.
No.
Like we're getting waves in Black Series that are whole block waves for a new show.
A new show or a recent show that's still popular.
Right. And Acolyte, listen, I'm looking forward to Acolyte. I'm excited about Acolyte. But when those figures dropped and looking at the budget and so many figures announced at the same time, none of which I know about. So you're hoping that you care about them, but they also are all in Jedi robes. There's no we don't know how the show is going to go. There's no obvious villain within it that we know is going to be there. The fact that they're not putting in a classic character with that to sort of balance out the wave of having something for everybody is a bit of a concern for the future health of all of this.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely they need to keep weaving in old stuff into the new stuff, because like you said, there are people that maybe they don't like the new stuff, but they do like the old stuff, and you still have them engaged in the hobby without leaving them high and dry, because you're not releasing something that they would want. And of course that's going to be like a 40-year-old guy, because that's just how it works.
But also not necessarily. I mean,
well,
mostly
it's not going to be my point is not going to be a kid. Like,
but it's also going to be that is a Pyrrhic victory to appeal to that person anyway, because they're going to be disappointed in no matter what.
True.
So you can't be chasing that dragon, because it's never going to be happy. It's never going to be excited to see the figure fights that happen over people TVC versus Black Series. It's like, just action figures, just be happy. Why do you have to be angry that some other line got something that the other line didn't. I mean, ultimately, they're going to get you everything they can. They're going to reuse those molds.
Sure.
But they're also not going to continue the line if people pass on stuff.
Also,
I wish there was more of a discussion and engagement or an openness about what they have planned outside of new media. New media, I can understand they're under embargo. They can't talk about that stuff.
They have to. Yeah.
But when it comes to plans for the classic figures across the entire saga, all the films, everything that's already existing, see what people want. See what people are asking for. More actively engage. You know, there's stuff like the March Madness stuff that's come up and all the action figure discussion on the fan side. But that used to be, at the very least, if not facilitated, openly endorsed and appreciated by Hasbro.
We haven't had a fan vote for a figure since 2019 when they did the Dagobah Luke.
And that just seemed more like a fait accompli kind of thing, didn't it? It's just sort of like,
well, I mean, they had a bunch. They had two fan votes around the same time. One was what you wanted to see in an archive wave, and that's the one that Cody won. And then one was your favorite character from Empire Strikes Back, in preparation for the 40th anniversary. And that's the one that Dagobah Luke won. But there were a lot of choices.
But how open and transparent was that voting process?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
do we know the numbers that came out of that?
No,
do we know
I guess he just has to trust. He just has to trust that they're not tweaking that. Like, well, we were doing this one anyway, so it's the one that wins.
I think maybe some thumbs were on scales when it came to what they were going to do or even consider.
That could be.
So I'm sure internally, maybe it's like, well, we'll see how these, but it's going to be this. Because this also coincides with the anniversary. Because wasn't that Dagobah Luke released for the Empire anniversary?
It was, but any of them would have been because it was specifically
for
Empire Strike. Yeah, it was specifically for that. Like, I voted for Lobot a couple times.
But they haven't done it since, as you said.
That's what I'm saying is they
the fact we're 5 years past that.
Yeah.
And no sign of any engagement.
And we've gotten some incredible figures out of the past fan votes. That's how we have a Revan. And, because Revan was so popular.
And a Wooher.
Right. Well, and yeah. Well, because Revan was so popular, that's why we've got more Old Republic characters in the line.
And the Revan sold out in TVC.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next one was Jaina Solo. And that one was super popular, but we haven't really had a bunch of Legends figures in the line since then. But we haven't had none, I guess.
And also, I don't understand. I wish the archive releases would come back. What are your view on the archive releases? Because there's so much that I missed just because I wasn't buying at the time.
Sure.
That is still ridiculous on the aftermarket.
I think the archive line at the start was brilliant. You take the popular figures or figures that had come out where they could do a better job with the face and re-release them. And I'm glad they focused a lot on the early waves because obviously that'd be the ones that most people wouldn't have because they hadn't started collecting at the time. And a lot of those figures, they never released better versions of anytime towards that point. So, like, it made sense to do, but now that I feel like they've done most of the ones they needed to update somehow,
right?
Like, it's becoming less and less necessary where they wouldn't have to archive it. They could just like do another run of it and ship it out.
So stuff like that Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
That already had photo reel at the time of its release.
No, it didn't.
Did it not?
Jaina Solo did not.
It needs
photo reel. It does. It's the only one I have where like that's like I think that's the last photo reel. Oh no, Director Krennic. I think those are pretty much the last two ones where like,
I fixed mine, so I'm good on my Director
you did.
Krennic.
Now you did, and it looks great. But if they released the same Jaina Solo, but with digital face printing, I'd buy it. I wouldn't even think about not buying it.
I mean, and that's the thing. Well, why? Maybe there's this great podcast that I've heard of called Black Series Cantina.
Never heard of it.
I've only heard of it occasionally, twice. But maybe that podcast could have a poll of its own that has a competition for archive releases and votes which figures and have the criteria be already released, needs an updated version, can't be a complete retool, has to be at most it gets photoreal.
Yeah.
So we're not even talking about, a full head resculpt kind of thing when it came to Han Solo, or a leg fix when it came to Leia.
Which is shocking they did that in the archive line.
One and done. Oh, obviously we're not seeing it anymore. But that has to be the criteria. It's just a straight re-release with an updated paint job, but it gets the figure back out there. I would be very curious to see.
Admiral Piet has a figure. He came out.
Isn't that Captain Piet? Is the figure they released? Or is it?
No, it's Admiral.
Is it Admiral?
I'm pretty sure it's Admiral.
I think, isn't it Captain?
I'm pretty sure it's Admiral. But we can look. Action figure 411. Let's check it out. Visual guide. It was in the Red Wave. It was a fan channel exclusive, so it wouldn't be in the numbered section. Let's see. Here we go. Admiral Piet. Came out 2018.
So we need a Captain Piet,
I guess.
Which would just be a different badge configuration.
Yeah, it's just a slightly. It's half, isn't it? It's like just the one.
Yeah, and the colors.
Yeah, and the colors are different. Yeah.
So an easy swap.
Yeah, but do you really need that?
I mean, if you start down that path, I don't think you want to. You already did a bit tonight.
It's the same figure.
What do we ultimately really need at all?
You're right. I just don't feel like that's a hole in my collection I need to fill. Like, if they made it, I don't know.
I mean, when you've printed out that Land Speeder Luke bridge from a Star Destroyer for Empire Strikes Back, you can't have Admiral Piet walking on that.
Fine, you're not wrong. In that one instance. Here's what I think that would be a good release, where they wouldn't re-release Admiral Piet. They would release, instead of like, okay, we're not going to do that figure anymore, but here's a Captain version.
Yeah, I mean, we need a new Krennic. You said that.
Yeah, we definitely need we need a new Krennic.
But those legs are so bad on that Krennic.
Well, here's what I want, and I would still put him in there, but if they did like a Bad Batch version, because he was in.
Or just put it in that packaging and say it's a Bad Batch version.
Yeah. But like have it an all new tooled,
or like an all weather Krennic. Yeah. Put him in his rain slicker.
Or that that would be great too, honestly,
because they already have that sculpted out.
Yeah,
but release that with that Imperial officer from Andor.
That's true. That would actually be a good release if they did that. I would like a beginning of Rogue One.
But we can't have that because we're getting less. We're getting less paint ops, and we're getting.
It's true.
We're getting less accessories now. That Anakin didn't even come with his pilot helmet.
It's ridiculous. The Anakin is so.
We're not asking for like his Jedi robes at the end version, which would have required a new sculpt.
Well, no. So I was looking at the figure. They could just change the overlay because it's a soft overlay, and I think the bottom half is pretty much the same. I don't know. I feel like they could easily get a Jedi Knight.
We're talking about it. My old paint job on it.
Yeah, your paint job looks great. I would have liked a folded up pit droid. I think is the accessory I would prefer.
Because we haven't gotten that at all as any accessory in the Black Series, right?
Correct. And I don't think the physics work for creating a pit droid that folds up like that does, because there's definitely I feel like some mass shifting somewhere in there. But a pre-molded folded up pit droid I think would be a fun accessory just to have.
But I would love to know the internal conversations and costing when they decide we're not going to do a wash.
Yeah.
On a figure.
Like, how much money does that save? I really want to know.
Yeah, because they always talk about paint being the most expensive.
Yep.
But then not balancing that out by adding an extra accessory in with him.
Right. Like, what about the figure put it over budget without the paint? Like, I want to know what were the
I mean,
other
it's obviously all
that
brand
were
new
necessary?
tooling.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it doesn't even share... I mean, it doesn't share anything with the Omega, which is the only sort of figure in a similar scale.
Correct.
So there's absolutely no reuse for that Anakin.
Nope.
To be able to get to it. Once you have it, though, you can get the Jedi version of him.
I mean, we're that's doable.
Is the pilot version going to be retail exclusive at some point with the helmet? Is that what we're going to come to?
Is it going to be like a pre-sculpted helmet, like where it's not an accessory, it's just sculpted on? Is it going to be something you can slip on?
I mean, in Black Series scale, you should be able to slip it on his head, right? It's supposed to be oversized because it's an adult helmet he's wearing, so you don't have those clearance issues like, you know, having to oversize a Clone Trooper's helmet because it has to go over a head if you want it to be removable.
But if you did, I feel like if you did his pod racing helmet, you would want it to be just like a separate head.
But even his pod racing helmet is a little large for him, right?
Maybe a little bit, but it's got like the chin strap and like the big goggles. I don't know. Like, I guess you could do it, but I think it would look better as a.
We're just gonna get the helmet set. It's just the two,
just
the helmeted head set,
and just swappable heads, so they don't have to like. You can just.
That's a $50 set.
Oh, it's deluxe for sure.
But you should be able. You know, we'll never see Black Series vehicles again, but his pod racer should be a relatively inexpensive one to do.
I feel like there are.
Like, what do you think that price point would be as a Haslab?
As a Haslab, I think they could if they just did Anakin's pod racer.
150.
I was thinking between 125 and 150.
And it comes with the figure as
it would
either
have
that or that's your stretch goal.
Yeah. I would hope that it came with the figure it need. I would want like a
you know what? It just comes with the head. You get the rest of the figure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to buy an extra existing Anakin to swap.
Now, what I would expect them to do is for $300, do like an Anakin and Sebulba set.
Because it's the only way you'll get
Sebulba
in the line.
Yeah.
Knowing that would be a completely brand new. And this, I mean, if they did the Haslab with Anakin, you just need a new head for him.
That's true.
To make him pod racer.
Unless they change it, unless they retool him a little bit so we can sit in the pod racer better. Like, I don't know if that would.
Because then the collapsed pit droid, that would most definitely be one of the stretch goals.
A stretch goal
along with the Rancor bones.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I stand by those bones.
I hope that whenever, if there's ever a Black Series Haslab, they have to put the bones as a tier. Just throw those bones in there somewhere.
Everyone was focusing on the cardboard backdrop, but like those bones were, I think those bones were a perfect tier. Like people like, it's a couple cents worth of plastic. Like, that's not the only part. That's not the only thing you look at when you're making toys. Like the materials.
I watched your yak face discussion. Or listened to your yak face discussion. You went so hard after him for that Haslab.
Mad. Just mad.
I think that thing just hit at a weird time.
Oh, it did. I think 90% of it, like it could have overcome the negativity. All things being the same, it could have overcome that had it come out like 6 months later.
And also, that was a PR disaster. That's just the communications just were not handled. Yeah. That was a social media.
Yeah.
If they had embraced, even if they didn't actually act on it, just we are listening.
Mm-hmm.
We understand. Here's the realities, or here's where it is. Any of those things. But that was just a back-footed campaign.
Agree. No, I agree.
From start to finish.
It was flubbed.
And then to have no flexibility at the end.
Yeah.
You know, I hope those people are enjoying their Unicrons.
I am.
That seem to have a little flexibility.
Right. Well, That one was super interesting. That was well, technically that was the third one because
that was
Cookie
after the
Monster.
barge, right?
It was the barge and then Cookie Monster, and then
That Cookie Monster
Unicron was the day.
If-
came out the day after that.
The problem with that Cookie Monster, it was just the ignorance of the consumer.
Yeah.
Not knowing how much those puppets cost
Right.
to produce.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to privately commission that.
Yeah.
That is still cheaper than a private commission of a puppet builder who knew what they were doing and got the actual materials to make. That was a volume of scale price accommodation that was ridiculous if you actually knew what went into it, and was comparable with the master replicas prices from 10 years prior, 15 years prior.
Right.
And for that thing not to fund
and it didn't
at that level,
it didn't even get close.
No, but again, they stacked them.
They did. And that was the other problem is that I don't know who the Cookie Monster was for that they advertised to, I should say. Like, I feel like they were pushing it towards the wrong crowd.
Well, they were pushing it towards the Hasbro crowd.
Right.
And they made no attempt to appeal outside of the Hasbro crowd.
But and there is no Sesame Street Hasbro crowd.
Right.
Because they don't make Sesame Street. It was so out of left field.
It's basically they said this is something we can do, where someone internally is like, this is a thing I want to do, and this is how we make it happen. So I have this.
Yeah.
Because if that had been better advertised to the right audience, they would have acted at the threshold that was needed for it.
Yeah.
And just education about what it meant and why that was something to be acted upon.
I mean, in hindsight, it really wasn't. Like, was it $300? Like,
if you went to a puppet builder, and I will tell you this from experience and knowledge, and you got a really great deal from them, to which they were like giving you the super friend deal on building something like that, you're looking at best case scenario $750. That's absolute best. Only because, as far as material wise, he errs on the side of not being as expensive because he's using the fur instead of fleece, but you still have a dyeing process that's needed. There's a lot of work beyond even getting, it looks simple, but you have to have that pattern exactly right, or it doesn't look like Cookie Monster, particularly when it's a poser.
Right.
The fact that you have to fill out the 3 dimensions on it, that means there has to be an armature within that. Structure within it. You have to have foam within it that fills out the shape correctly.
Correct.
You have to know what you're doing as a builder to build that thing if you were privately commissioning that. Using actual materials.
It's a similar thing to like the proton pack. It's the same kind of situation where like there are people that would make proton packs, but to get something
you're looking at $1,000.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Because that takes actual machining and talent and time to do.
And the difference is that I guess there were more people that crossed over the Haslab that were also Ghostbusters. Like there's the right crossover there.
Well, and they also already existed in the toy market,
right?
And the prop and the prop market. There was a prop market that existed.
Right.
There is a market that exists for puppet replicas.
Yeah.
It's just those were not appealed to.
Right.
And it's also that property is weird because you can't have like Cookie Monster going on promoting the Cookie Monster you can buy in this Haslab on like the Today Show.
Right.
You can't get that kind of promotion. That's a line you can't cross easily. Even the Muppets, it's a little dicey to do it just because it's just weird. The Sesame characters is definitely not a thing. So it's just appealing to adult collectors who know and appreciate what that Haslab means and what it's actually offering. That price was a ridiculously good price. I think the fact that if Haslabs don't get funded, they never come back is ridiculous. I can say, okay, fine. You know what? It's a 5-year moratorium.
Sure. Give it
Then
time.
it'll be offered again because they've already done all the prototyping on these things. All the design work is done. It's strictly just then moving to manufacturing on all these. To say, no way, to me seems ridiculous.
I agree with that. I agree.
You know, you can certainly make it to like a, hey, we're going to make it sting that you didn't get it now and you're going to have to wait. But if figures can come back out and other retired things can come back out, let it come back out. You make the money, we get the stuff. I think they should offer Haslabs again, period. Even the ones that got funded.
I agree if they did it. I've come around on that. I was a hard no, they shouldn't, because I think it would be dangerous for future Haslabs where it wouldn't have as much urgency. But I think your argument for change
moratorium and I'm changing them,
or just change them, make them not the same release. Well, because specifically,
the packaging automatically different. That's your first step,
right?
Second, the additional offerings, like, hey, this originally came like the Razor Crest. Let's say originally it came packed in with those bonus carbonite block figures,
right?
Those are gone. Or it's just straight vehicle, no figures. Because we already have a ton of Mandos and Grogus. We don't need any more. If you just want the vehicle, it comes in a plain brown cardboard box. And it is a straight up, this is your opportunity to get the thing again. If you want the collectible thing, you missed the collectible thing.
Yeah.
If you just wanted to have it because you want that thing on your shelf in your collection, offer the damn thing again. That sale barge had such low numbers.
Yeah.
And so many people now that they filled out the figures, now they're releasing Jabba again. Now you just had an anniversary. Like that sale barge didn't even coincide with the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. You could have offered that again, but have a moratorium. Have again that whole 5-year waiting period. Like you miss it now, you may be dead before it comes back. Do you want to take that risk? There's your initial. Do you have the patience if this doesn't fund, not to see it again for 5 years? 5 years not even being a guarantee. It's just like it could be. Like that. The one guarantee we'll give you is these things could be offered again in 5 years' time. Hasbro might not exist in 5 years' time. There's a bunch of hypotheticals that are playing into the gamble of whether you decide to back a Haslab under that scenario.
True.
Do you want to be patient? Are the circumstances going to be possible in that amount of time?
I mean, it's a good point. It's
but yeah, bring them back around. Otherwise, it's just spiteful. It
is, and
there's so many spiteful things in collecting.
There was a sense of superiority, like, I've got this, you don't.
It's gatekeeping.
It a little bit.
Toys.
Yeah.
It's having that jerk kid down the street who talks about the USS Flag that they were able to get, that they sleep in every night, that you can't have. Like, why as adult collectors do we have to deal in spite?
Because we're adult collectors and that's just what they do. Thanks for hanging out, Zanzus. Thank you for watching the video later.
Yeah, and it is 3:19 a.m. It's 3:20 a.m.
It's crazy. It's 12:20 here. The rank, there was technically, like, the answer is yes and no. That's the only one I would consider a Black Series, but technically the Reva's lightsaber is technically under the Black Series banner because all of the like role play items that are high end are Black Series.
Now, I haven't monitored this. Have they released Reva's lightsaber at the Disney parks? Is that an offering that's available?
I don't think so.
So did that prevent it from getting a parks release as well?
Could be.
Because they released every other variation of every other lightsaber through the parks.
Yeah.
Even if Hasbro hasn't done their own versions.
Right. Yeah,
and also, would it be different if it was offered again? I don't think it should have been a Haslab.
I agree. I don't think it should have been a Haslab.
And it was a weird demonstration and rollout, too. When you're showing us and going, we'll get this to work. Don't worry when we finally get it. Because I remember that it being like this weird rollout and demonstration of what they had of it.
What they should have done. I mean, there's no way you can get a spinny Inquisitor lightsaber really to work. But famously in the movie, Reva's lightsaber gets cut in half. They could have just released one of those in a box. Yes, spoiler for a 2-year-old show.
No. I meant it would have been a spoiler to announce it when they announced that thing before the show rolled out.
The figure came that way. The figure came with that.
No,
the Black Series figure has both her full lightsaber and
but we didn't get that before the show hit.
Yeah, we did.
Did that? No.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the first episode of Obi-Wan aired the day of the first day of Star Wars Celebration that year, 2022.
And Reva was available?
And they had announced I was at the celebration.
They had announced, but they had her. I was looking at her figure. One.
I was looking at her figure.
Yeah, but she was holding her complete one. Did they show the other accessory of the broken?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm doubting.
They did. I'm telling you, they did.
There's so much they
was there.
Don't talk about that. Yeah. That surprises me because that is a plot point.
I mean, I guess it is, but it's without context, it's kind of meaningless. You don't know if her lightsaber can just split in half, or
I know, but they're so precious about all that stuff.
It's true, but no, it definitely had the option of having two single
having a broken one.
Yeah, well, because you didn't know if it was broken or not. It's just two single blade ones.
It's just a poorly handled rollout, regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, as you said, and I think he even said at the time, people were still stinging over the Rancor, and you're offering a cosplay thing as a follow up to that.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people like me where like I just don't collect that. Like I'm really into the Black Series, but I just don't.
Also, for a character you didn't know, on a show you hadn't
also,
seen.
Yeah, it was a lot to ask for what it was, and if the thing is, if they had made it like the Inquisitor's lightsaber, because that at least would have Rebels behind it,
right?
You wouldn't have to know him from Obi-Wan. You would have that attachment to his lightsaber because of Rebels. And you wouldn't have to worry about, I don't know who this is, like people did with Reva.
I mean, I again love to be in a fly on the wall on the internal conversations.
Yeah. And I wonder how much of that was Lucasfilm.
Because there's so many levels to get to the point of announcement. Yeah. You have to have someone pitching it.
Yep.
No matter where that pitch comes from. Costing it out. How the campaign's going to roll out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did they announce? There were no stretch goals announced, right? For that,
it was just what it was. Yeah, there weren't goals.
Just either it happens or it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Could have any stickers, just like a little sticker version of her Inquisitor badge.
Came with a cardboard one you can like pin on.
Plastic, like one of those old Marshall badges from the supermarket.
Oh, for sure. There were people that didn't care for her character for various reasons. I will not say that you have to like a character, but I feel like some of the reasons people had were
but no one complete bullshit. But no one knew that when that was announced.
True, yeah.
No one had seen the show.
You didn't know anything about the character at that point.
It's just is Reva's. This is Reva's lightsaber. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I remember when The Force Awakens was coming out because they released, the figures before, and I'm like, I don't know who Finn is. Like, I don't know who Rey is.
Oh, I
but
thought
I'm
you were
buying.
like with a Haslab for Zuvio's blaster.
Yeah, exactly. Here's Zuvio's hat.
It would have backed that.
I would still buy that. Zuvio gets a bad rap just because they cut him out of the movie. It's not his fault. He's still a cool.
Yeah, where's that
character.
archive release?
Right? Get Zuvio out there. Rose Tico needs a digital face upgrade.
Oh, completely. And you'd have a reason to revisit that when you put the Pelimoto out.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really, really baffled by a lot of what is going on when it comes to this line health and sustainability for it. Because it seems like, you have the TVC stuff leaving Target, which seems like a prelude to moving other lines out or moving them to not in store, and it's just all going to be handled online if they get exclusives. Because why bother shipping them to stores if it's if you've each store is getting 3, which is basically what they got with that damaged Vader. I think in store each store only got like a box of that in the
one
Apple,
case,
right?
Yeah, one straight case of each. Yeah.
So what's the point then?
But here's the thing, because you don't know how much of that is that's what they got, and how much of that is they just fucked up the distribution, and that's why they'll go into a warehouse and find cases of it that didn't go anywhere. That's what happened with the earlier GI Joe stuff.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened with that Vader though.
That's true.
I would love to get a second in one of those Vaders just to tear that helmet apart and take a look at what's in there, but didn't happen.
I'm very surprised that we did the Vader and the Apo just did they wasn't hanging around as long as a normal exclusive has as they have been
for one that was like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Like they can't take advantage of things that are successful. It's one thing and I hate the term peg warmer, because peg warmer just implies that you made too many of them.
True.
And that's an internal production decision, not a demand decision. People go, well, look at all those Landos. Well, those Landos were packed 3 to a case. What do you expect is going to happen?
Yeah.
With a figure and then you've only packed the other ones 1.
Yeah, you don't need to buy 4
case.
Landos for your collection. You need the 1.
Yeah. So that figure had the same demand as all the other figures in that wave, but you just made 3 times as many of them.
Right.
That arrived in stores in those cases with the rest of those figures that sold out when people picked up all of them.
Yep.
So #justice for Lando.
I'm right there with you. I mean, who doesn't want a Billy D in there? And every collector I know
had great figures,
and I don't know anyone.
I still see that
personally.
skiff guard at Ollie. There's so many that skiff guard,
Sure.
and I've wanted to buy more just because it's such a great figure, that archive release.
And honestly, you could just get like some new heads. Like get like a Nikto head. Someone's got to make one.
Can you imagine if Luke or Frederick lived near an Ollie's? They'd be in customizer heaven.
Man, I invited both of them to be on tonight, and neither of them responded.
You sure? Have you checked?
That's not true. Luke responded, and Luke was in chat, but he did not show up. Yeah.
I think he needs to learn some magic tricks, just because he has the hand cam, so he just needs to start.
That's all you need. Just do some
performing sleight of hand. Yeah.
Yeah. While you talk. Yeah.
I mean, all of his stuff is close-up magic.
That's true. Absolutely. I'm loving those new droid stands he did. Like, those are brilliant. They just snap right in.
They are. Yeah. No, it's what's painful, and it's great that people like Luke exist, is why isn't Hasbro doing all that stuff? Again, it goes back to the discussion we've had before with what is the point of Pulse? If you have stuff that you have a direct audience to your consumer, you're not dealing with any other retailer to offer them things directly that they want. Why are they not selling stands? Simple stands, simple figure stands. Why are they not selling them?
Yeah, they
like
had
for
those
GI
flight
Joes.
stands.
Why aren't they doing versions of the GI Joe stands they did with the 30th anniversary line?
These come with the retro ones right here. Like they could just sell a pack of 5 of these, $10 or something.
Yeah, and you have the digital file, Hasbro. You just scale it up.
Yeah.
All it has to say is GI Joe or Cobra, and people buy packs of each if they want them to say anything. If they want them to say anything.
And I was gonna say, oh, and you could have them locked together, but you don't even have to do that. Like this is good enough as it is.
People just want an official thing. A lot of people just want that, or one they know works.
Yep.
With it, or flight stands that aren't ridiculous. And that's the thing that was so great about that stand that Luke did, is that it's simple. It's so straightforward. It's not, I got to mess with screws and positioning, and then the weird profile and space that it takes up when you have that part of the arm jutting out the back of it.
Yep.
There's so much talent that exists out there. And I don't know if it's Hasbro just doesn't have a corporate culture that feels it can deliver to the consumer in that way. But we've had the lightsaber blade replacement argument numerous times.
All the time. Yeah, so many
times. The fact that so
many
characters have the same type of blaster.
Yep.
Why don't we have those accessory boxes?
And the varying quality of those blasters, where sometimes they're painted, sometimes they're flat gray plastic, sometimes they have dry brushing, sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they're just rubber bands.
Yeah.
Gummy bears.
I have like a gradient of weapons from like gummiest to firmest just going across. Yeah.
Where is that video? That should be a TikTok. That should be a short. I want to see a short of you showing the grades of firmness when it comes to the weapons that have been released.
Look at this one. I can bend this one all the way around. Touch, tip to butt.
The why all that stuff is being left on the table, I don't know. And I was looking through the episode, the Phantom Menace, the amount of episode 1 accessory packs that were offered at the time, and creature packs.
Yeah, there were a bunch.
Like tiny little creature packs.
Yep.
Like, why aren't they, if you want to buy like a box of the frogs from the Mandalorian, why can't you just buy a box of frogs?
Yeah.
Offer a box of frogs.
Box of porgs, box of frogs. It's a no-brainer, and I don't know why they don't do it.
Stuff that you already have the molds.
Yeah.
Hasbro, you have the stuff.
Well, I did like that they did that with the creature pack at the Disneyland, where it came with the bogling,
the Minoc, and the
Minoc, and like that was nice, and it was like it's a nice start. Like do more of that, and
but it's a parks exclusive, so it's so limited to get to that. That wasn't even a Shop Disney offering.
Exactly. No. Yeah. It was on Shop Disney, because that's where I got it.
It was on Shop Disney because of the pandemic. Yeah. Otherwise, it would not have been on Shop Disney for the time, and it is not on Shop Disney anymore.
And it is still on the parks. I can go to the parks and probably find it.
And the same thing with that droid pack.
Yeah.
Where if you want to get a pit droid, that's your only option outside of this.
It's crazy that is the only option until obviously the upcoming one.
The R2s that we have, we can't take those side panels off.
They're glued on.
Why? What?
I honestly don't know.
That's another dick move. That's
really... try heating it up, like heat it up and see if you can
pry it off.
Dissolve the glue.
And but they knew these were coming.
Yeah,
that would have been an incentive for people to get it above and beyond.
Specifically, when I got the R2 and I did a video on it, I checked. I'm like, nope, these don't come off like the smaller ones do. And I remember being a little bummed by that, because I figured we'd never get rocket packs.
And then all of a sudden,
of all astromech droids, R5D4, who up until now was famous for just exploding.
Ready to swap, ready to go.
Yeah.
And just And I used to getting the feeling, looking at the lack of paint applications on those, that they're moving more and more towards these just feeling like model kits as opposed to finished figures.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it doesn't have any of the weathering that used to be a hallmark of Black Series.
Yeah, I would say more than Black Series. Just like Star Wars toys in general always had.
Oh yeah, I mean that high water mark.
Yeah.
That 30th, I still think the 30th anniversary line is the high water of just attention to detail and presentation. You know, obviously the articulation wasn't quite there yet, but that was just because it hadn't been innovated yet. But as far as a fidelity to trying to present as realistic as possible and putting them, and I gotta wonder how much of that also is just dealing with Disney on a corporate level. Right. They don't care as much. Like they're not pushing for that kind of quality. Whereas Lucasfilm independently would have.
Yeah, it's true.
And also, where's the competition? The Star Wars license is not going anywhere.
Nope. And I mean they tried to do, what was it? Was it Diamond Select that was doing
the 7-inch line?
7-inch line, was it? Yeah.
I mean, Diamond, I like that they exist.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did like 3 figures, right?
They did Boba Fett, Chewbacca,
and a Stormtrooper, I think.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
They just have that weird plastic that feels brittle.
I've never had one in hand. I mean, I know, obviously I know Diamond Select in general, but I've never had one of the Star Wars ones.
They feel the same like a McFarlane figure feels to me.
Yeah.
Like I worry when I'm posing like a McFarlane figure.
Yeah.
Just because it feels like something could break.
That's how I feel about NECA figures as well.
Whereas I don't feel that with a Hasbro figure.
Yeah. Right.
Because there is a rubberiness to the plastic.
Right.
I don't know why that represents rubberiness, but I guess
no, it does, and I even got that visually. Like I understood it.
But I can feel that, like if I'm posing, and you've been like, if I need to get it into a pose like a cross arm, and I feel I can and bend it just a little to get it tucked in.
Yep.
I feel I can do that with a Hasbro figure. I don't feel I could do that with a Diamond Select or a McFarlane figure or a Mattel figure. There's a bit more rigidity to the plastic.
And that seems like
Mattel feels
better,
in between
Hasbro
and sort of McFarlane.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm looking at like even those Fortnite figures that came out have a bit of, was it Jax Pacific had the license?
It was
before?
Jax, and then also McFarlane was doing them at the same
time. Because they have that hard plastic for the bodies, so you're not going to get any flex out of that. And the limbs are a little bit stiffer. Weird holding a banana figure while saying that. But that's...
I won't read into it. I won't read into it.
So what are you excited about coming out?
Coming out? Oh, well, let's see. I'm pretty excited to get there's the Missing Link Optimus Prime that I'm supposed to be getting sometime soon. And that's just because that's just a pure nostalgia.
Are you getting the YOLO Park stuff?
I am. Oh, that should ship it shipped. It should be delivered sometime in the next week.
Supposedly, they're sending me the Optimus and the Megatron.
Nice. I mean, I have the Megatron. It's great. The Optimus is fantastic.
Because I realize, also, that all I ever wanted from a Transformers figure is something that looked like the G1 cartoon. Right. And I don't care about transforming.
Right.
I just want, because, we've talked about how I'm more a stickler for things being on model than anything else.
Yeah.
And those are the most on model
Yeah,
I
agree, and I'm the same way. As I want a nice action figure representation of like Optimus Prime and Megatron, and there hasn't really been a good one until YOLO Park. Like there hasn't been a good option for it.
There've
I
been so many
did
that seem so
finish
close.
my trains. Right. Well, there was the red, which I had, and it just, I don't know. There's something missing from those. There's the, well, what else is there? There's the Super 7, which someone sent me the Optimus Prime, and it's one of the worst figures I've ever had in my hand.
Super 7 they're really lean into that brittle plastic feel. Like everything feels like it's going to break. Like the only Super 7 that I got, just because I wanted a cartoon representation, was the Cobra Commander.
Right.
Just because I like that cartoon look. I thought that captured it the best as far as if you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
The paint wasn't great on it. In fact, they had a QC issue on the thing that needed to be resolved. Yeah. And that for me was enough for that. When the first Transformer that actually got me excited was when the first Masterpiece Optimus came out.
I have that one.
And that was the thing. It was like, oh, this is what I want. I want something that looks like Optimus from the cartoon. Yeah. And that was the first thing that got to that level.
It blew me away that he didn't have wheels here. Because, the toy had like waist wheels his whole life, but he never had them in the cartoon. And when I saw that picture of the MP01 or MO1 or whatever it's called, and I was like, where's his upper wheels? Where'd they go? It like blew my mind that he didn't have wheels.
They did it. Yeah. They found a way.
They found a way. The scientists.
That one had me excited. The one that honestly made me even happier because it was the huger disappointment in the original line was the Megatron release.
Oh yeah. The tall,
to have that
skinny one,
look like that weird crotch trigger. Yeah, that whole thing was an embarrassing thing.
The first couple of figures, they didn't really have that. They didn't have the aesthetic nailed down for what it really should have been.
Well, there was like no fidelity to the cartoon. Right. I mean, I'm trying to think. Did any of those original figures? And I got them as they were coming out.
Yeah.
None of them look like the closest one. Soundwave. Soundwave to me felt like the closest to looking in that initial batch.
Definitely to the cartoon. Soundwave. I would say
the heads never looked right.
Grimlock, I mean.
But Grimlock didn't look like Grimlock in
looked
robot
like the
form.
Toy. Yeah. It was more closer to the toy.
The heads were never right. I can't think of a single one of those heads that made me go, oh, yeah, that's the cartoon, because none of them had any character to them.
Because they were trying to find some middle ground between the cartoon and the toy, where they were trying to make it a mixture between the two. And what that means is that it would never be quite right. Whether you were looking for a toy aesthetic or a cartoon aesthetic, it was slightly wrong in both regards.
Yeah. I mean, all I want is a YOLO Park.
Yeah,
and I know it's eventually. There's Starscream. That's like my.
I think that's
the one I need.
Yeah.
I just need a good Starscream.
Yeah,
and I'm done.
That's it. No more, huh?
I think maybe a Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Then I'm super done.
Okay.
Those were my go-to because I have. Do you remember the Hero? What was the name? Hero was part of it. They did a line of statues and busts in the mid 2000s that were of the animated G1 style. Those looked great. I have those. Those were my really solid representations in the cartoon colors, which was another whole thing you had to get into in all these things. Like I remember what Walmart when they came out with their Transformers the movie version of that masterpiece.
Yep.
It's like stop. Just what game are you playing with me now? Why are you? You had that initial Starscream that was in the wrong green,
the wrong color. Yeah. and then they made one with the right colors, and
then they've done a new one beyond that one, which looks. All I want is a definitive, and I can get rid of, because again, I don't care about. To me, transforming is a gimmick. At this point, I'm not actively transforming it. I don't care about their vehicle modes. If I wanted that, I'll get a die-cast car.
An F-14. Just get a die-cast F-14.
Yeah,
well, that's what they should do. They could make a nice action figure of like Starscream, and then in the same
separate
way,
model kit,
a separate one this is this transformed one, but same paint job. Decepticon logos, all that.
Is anyone? Are you displaying any of your Transformers in their transform mode, in their non-robot form?
No.
Is there anyone you've talked to that's their default display?
No, and but to be fair, I think most people display them in robot mode because it takes up less room than alt modes do.
Right.
Like my Optimus shelf up here. I really do like how a bunch of these look in their little alt modes, but like it just would take up so much room. It's not feasible. Same thing with my Dinobots. In fact, I do. I take that back. I do display.
Oh, your Grimlock. Oh, your mic went off again. You're muted again. While we're waiting for Mike to rejoin us, how's everyone doing tonight?
Oh my god! Yeah, I think there's a loose like cable here.
It just defaults to mute.
Yeah. And then I got this and I transformed it, and I like the alt mode so much. I'm never gonna go back to his robot mode because this looks so freaking good.
I mean, to be fair, I think Grimlock in his robot form is boring. And the cartoon loved him enough. Like when I think of Grimlock, I do think of him in his alt mode. Sure. In fact, I think robot form is his alt mode.
That's actually probably true.
Because the Dinobots
have a good night, Muzza.
90% of the time you just saw them.
Yeah.
In their Dino
and then
mode.
Same thing with this. Like I just got this.
But you love dinosaurs, so you just like a robot dinosaur.
That's what it is I just love robot dinosaurs.
So again, you wouldn't need them to transform at all because they're never going to be transformed.
No, I just want a good robot dinosaur. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I just and I'm not confident enough transforming.
Yeah,
any of these things.
I'm getting there. I used to see it as like a good challenge. Like I can do this. But I've got a couple now where like I haven't even bothered to try. Like they came in robot mode. I'm like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, because you're not beyond the one time. I assume if you're reviewing them, you're probably going to do it just to do it.
Just to do it. Yep.
But beyond that, you never. No. Are you pulling an Optimus down off the shelf going, I'm going to make him a truck?
I will say I do that sometimes where like I'll just be like watching TV or something and I want something to do with my hands.
So it's a fidget transformer.
Basically it's a fidget toy, yeah. Where I'll just be like, I want to transform this.
But you're not getting down the most complicated one to do that.
No, I'm not. No, not at all.
Also, why don't they have fidget transformers?
I mean, I feel like they do. That's what transformers are.
Yeah, but ones that are not easily breakable. Ones that you could really just put them into their alt modes.
I mean,
in ways absentmindedly.
I feel like that's what the mainline version is now. Yeah. I just got this bad boy. This is Gears. And like he looks pretty good in his squat little robot mode. And I don't know, he might be like 10 steps to turn into a little truck. And it's a good little truck.
What was the name of the G1 line that was basically one step and they would pop into their robot mode?
Jump starters.
There we go.
Yeah, I had his Twin Twist and
what was the one? Wasn't there one that was blue color? like a blue and white.
Yes. Yeah.
That had like the hydrofoil sort of look.
Yeah. I remember Twin Twist. I can't remember the other one's name, but I think it was the other one's name is the one you're talking about.
He was basically just a pull back, let go, and then he'd flip into
and then after a couple inches, they would flip over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need from a Transformer, at most.
There we go.
But the thing I don't understand about the YOLO Park stuff is, why does it take YOLO Park, a company outside of Hasbro, to give people that? Like, why are they outsourcing that?
And I don't know how. Okay, so like the Mega. Oh, first of all, hold on. This was like less than 2 minutes, and I turned him into like a little truck, and it's a good little truck. He's just anyway. There is die cast on here. There is a lot of paint and weathering on here, and this cost $60. It came with a stand, and it came with a bunch of accessories.
I don't understand how they're doing the price. That part I don't understand.
That is exactly what I'm getting at. If Hasbro made this at this quality with this paint,
and it's an import,
it would cost $120. It also has electronics, like his eyes light up.
So, but then why? When Hasbro is able to produce volume, why is Hasbro stuff so much more expensive than an independent company that's got to be living hand to mouth, and these things have to make enough to keep them in business?
Yeah.
How are they able to pull that off? Like there's something broken about the system where that's available at that price point, which is an accessible price point for a great product, and a company that's been in existence for over 100 years now cannot produce something of equal quality at the same price when they have the volume that they do as a company.
Well, and it's their own property, so it's not like Marvel or Star Wars. Where
they're offering that price while paying a licensing fee.
Right. Yeah.
That is an officially sanctioned.
Yeah.
Licensed product. That's not them calling, here's Magatron.
No. This isn't third party. Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a Despotron.
Yeah.
I've got a Polygon. I've got Super Evil Commander.
Tankbot.
Yeah.
Leader of the Trickstacots.
Right. the live bots.
So how is that possible?
I honestly I can't tell you, and that's like they won me over to get the Optimus Prime with that alone. Like I got this because Dan was like, "Hey, I just got this, and you should get this because you'll like it." And I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot."
Was it not on your radar? Or you had already dismissed it.
It wasn't. I mean, so YOLO Park was on my radar. I had seen people post things about YOLO Park, but I never really paid much attention to it because I just saw the words model kit. And I was like, I don't really want a model kit. Like, I've got a couple of Bandai kits for Star Wars that I've never put together. And, like, I don't really want to build my toys right now. But when I saw the extent of it was just putting the arms onto the body, I was like, oh, that's not a model kit.
The loosest definition, licensing-wise, of a model kit.
It's a pre-painted, mostly pre-assembled body piece that you just slide onto another part. Figure. Yes, it's exactly what it is. You're buying a Build-A-Figure. I mean, I was like, okay, I need the Optimus now to match this because it's so good.
And the scale is great. It's manageable for display.
It's got a good weight to it. I don't know. I can't really explain it.
Like as an import goes, like I'm shocked. I would expect at a base minimum that would be $100 figure.
Easily $100 base.
So especially for how much. What is happening? What is happening here? Why is that?
Maybe the answer is things aren't really as expensive as people say they are.
So what is
That's
happening?
all I can think of.
What is going on, and why is that money that Hasbro is leaving on the table? I mean, I'm glad, obviously, because some other company's stepping in to do something right.
So it reminds me of I used to work for Fry's Electronics, and I sold computers, and we had to sell at least one a week of Fry's PC. It was a Fry's branded PC that Fry's manufactured, and they changed the rules for our commission one time where we would only get if the markup of the GP was below a certain percentage, we wouldn't get the full commission for it. We'd only get a percentage of the commission. And the Fry's PCs were below that. But one day after they implemented that rule, the margin for the Fry's PCs suddenly magically met it. And someone in a meeting was like, how come the margin on these suddenly fixed itself? And the main person, the head of Fry's Computers, was like,
jumped out of a window.
Don't worry about it. He just said he like ran up to the mic and grabbed it. He's like, don't worry about it. Just like, okay.
And then he screamed, "The jig is up!" and he ran from the room.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
They're asking too many questions.
I just remember that. Just don't worry about it. Just like, I mean, it's a fair question.
And how long did that last?
I don't remember. I think I quit shortly after that. It was a shitty company, and they deserve to not be in business anymore.
I mean, what do you want out of Hasbro?
Oh, that's a good question. I want fun toys that are affordable and look
how do you
good.
define fun toys at this point in your life?
At this point, yeah, that's a good question. Because it's definitely different from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I loved a good gimmick. But now I would prefer it if they didn't have any gimmicks. So I think I would just like a small version of what I see on screen in my hand, like some kind of tactile fidelity. Yeah, like this. This is exactly what I would want in a figure. You know, just I have.
But that's not a statuette. That's posable.
No, I would want posability.
You want some posability.
I want posability. I've had this conversation with my wife a couple of times where, like, you know, why not just buy a statue if you're just gonna put them on a shelf and they just sit there? And the answer is because I like them to be in the pose that I put them in, and I like to know that if I want to change that pose, I can.
Right. Or if you want to have it making eye contact with you, you can spin the head a little bit.
Correct. Or if I want them kissing, I can do that too.
Yeah, you know what? They get up onto the shelf. That's all their own business.
That's right. I don't ask questions. They can do whatever they want.
So then what's the thing that aggravates you the most right now when you get a toy?
Okay, a good example of that would be I just got the new Scarlet, the retro Scarlet.
That's the carded?
The carded one, yeah. I don't like it. One of the things I don't like about her is in the sculpt, her feet are curved up on the front, which gives her a little bit of a
elf
rock.
Shoes, or
kind of. It's like a very slight,
like a manufacturing issue.
It is, because if you look at Paul Harding's files for the sculpt, it's in the sculpt. But it gives her kind of a rock, and she doesn't like to stand up properly because of her feet and the way that they're shaped.
Imagine if they sold stands.
Well, she comes with a stand, thank God. But you know, you shouldn't have to use a stand to have her stand up.
So then that's but you say in the sculpt that curvature is there in the sculpt, or it's not in the sculpt?
No, it is in the sculpt.
So what is it supposed to represent? Why is there?
No, I didn't sculpt.
Why would there be a curvature
Ask Paul Harding. He sculpted it. Go talk to him.
No one, when they were prototyping and doing a 3D print in office, is going, that thing just rocking forward and falling.
Not stand up.
Have you taken some hot water to try and bend it into?
because Dan was the first.
This is a question. This is a follow-up observation.
Sure. Yeah, and I actually suggested that to him. I'm like, why don't you just heat it up and try to see if you can flat it out? And then I remember texting him saying the same thing, like, yeah, mine doesn't want to stand either. And I thought I could try heating it up and flattening out, and then I just haven't yet. So I thought about it.
So there was an observation that I'd had, and I'm curious as to your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just did that Anakin wash on that figure.
Yep.
And I'm looking at my desk right now, and I see, because I was thinking, oh, I actually could get together like a photo of, there's the wash on him, there's the new paint job and detail work I did on the Hu Yang. There's the repaint on the face and hair adjustment and height on Shin. There's the height fix on Balin. Why does it seem like these figures are turning into model kits? That to get them to the point, I'm not opening the box and feeling happy about them. I'm looking at them as, oh, I've got to finish these.
They're a project.
I gotta fix these to make them something that is the thing that I would want them to be out of the package for the price. And the thing is, there are some that are that we're getting that are just great, and you're like, oh, this is great. They can do this. They can look great. They can have paint details that are really nifty. Like that Padme, the one that just came out, the Phantom Menace one. I'm looking at because Luke did the chroming, the silver work on the ray gun with its retractable or expandable. I just wanted to point that out to people in case they didn't know.
I didn't know.
But her other gun has the silver paint.
Yes, it does. It has the paint.
The exact paint that that the blaster should have.
Correct.
So why does the grapple gun have the paint that also why can't they both have it? Why does it have to be something that I look at them if she's holding both in hand going, you're capable of it. You could have done it. You have the paint that looks great. That silver paint that they have now. Like, I don't need chroming if they use that. Like, also, why wasn't that the silver paint they used on R2 with some weathering? Because that's a great silver paint.
It is. And I mean, they also they missed out on a bunch of paint apps in her outfit.
Oh, that inside of the
whole inside of her skirt thing is supposed to be like a bright red.
They didn't miss. They chose not.
The fact you didn't get the note on that one.
Where do you think the line changed? Is there a demarcation point that you can point to and go, this is when I started noticing things like that were missing, like weathering, like paint details like that, like the extra step that made it a premium line prior to that?
I know it fell off before this, but the first time I was complaining about noticeably missing paint apps was in my Kit Fisto review, because the whole back of his head is missing paint on his little like bands on his little squid pieces. On the front he has them, but on the back they're not there. And I remember complaining that it's already a reuse. Like, there's nothing new on this figure other than the head and his hands. Like, everything else is just a repaint.
Like, this is the one thing you had to worry about.
It's a repaint of the Obi-Wan Padawan body with a new head, new hands, and even the lightsaber is a lightsaber that came with General Grievous. So it's a lightsaber we already had. So they didn't even mold a new one for that. They just had new hands, new head, and they still didn't bother to paint the bands on the back of his head. And that was the first time I remember complaining about it. Other than, pre-face printing, there was a noticeable drop in quality in the face when they stopped painting the faces. And I think it happened. I think it happened sometime around 2016.
So when that Rogue One line was coming out.
It was somewhere on there, and all the faces had like a soft quality to them because they would only paint the eyes and the mouth, and everything else was just the flat plastic. Whereas before they would paint the whole head like a flesh tone first,
right, as a base.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a Jyn Erso.
Yeah, sitting
in the Walgreens down the street from me.
Yep, same. A Jyn Erso and a Finn.
And
probably an Iadu Cassian as
yes,
well.
Yes, that was the other one that was there as well.
Yeah.
That finally sold. Somebody bought that.
Someone was like, "Oh my god, I've been looking for this."
But also that Jyn is still full price.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
Never been reduced.
At some point, here's the question: did they raise the price to match the current price point, or is it still $19.99?
It is still it is still the original sticker.
Okay, so if
they just
you
never
reduced
ring it
up, but they didn't raise it to be $24.99 now. Yeah,
no, they didn't adjust it.
Yeah,
but they did not reduce it. It has never gone on clearance. It is. I kind of hope it never goes. I like checking in on it just to see that it's still there, still living the best life it's going to have. I mean, even fodder wise, you can't pick it up because of how expensive it is. Like
it's not worth it. It's not worth buying.
Not when I can go across the street from that very store to Ollie's, and get the face printed re-release of that Jyn Erso for $7.
Like $7, yeah. That's fodder prices right there.
Yes. Yeah, that is. Listen, if I had disposable money, I would buy up every archive figure. There are Ponda Babas. There's Best Buy Ponda Babas in there. Ollie's was the best worst discovery I've ever had. And the sad thing is that place was open for at least 1.5 years before I ever ventured into it, because I never had any knowledge that existed in there.
Right.
So I probably could have gone in there and bought the Afra.
Probably, yeah.
I could have gone in there because I think the Rexes made it in there too, if I understand at some point.
Yeah, I remember people seeing that. I mean, I got my Rex from Target for $3 because they had some kind of weird pricing error. It was great.
I miss all of those things. Where am I when like the Rancor for the TVC Rancor, big Rancor set with Jabba and the figures was down to like $20 clearance? And why am I never there?
Then I just saw it at a show for like $300.
Why can't we be in these places, Mike? Why aren't we there?
I don't know.
Listen, here's how bad Ollie's is. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a sports person. I'm not a sports person. I don't care. I don't hate it. I just don't care.
Yeah, it's not your thing.
But here's the thing.
How many starting lineups do you have?
I went into Ollie's. The price on this is $3.99.
Yeah, I mean you gotta have that. There's so many uses for that.
There's so many. You know how much fun I'm planning on having.
There's so many figures you can have dunking, and it's fun.
$3.99.
Yeah, yeah.
You would have this if you had an Ollie's, right?
Sure.
You would have picked that up.
Ollie's, yeah, I wouldn't even. Yeah, absolutely.
The sad thing is, I bought this as a gift for a friend. I bought another one, a second one. It would cost. I haven't shipped it to him yet. 4 times as much to ship it to him.
Yeah.
So it eliminates the idea of I got you this at a great deal,
right?
When I'm paying the full retail to get it to him. So
yeah, because that was $25, wasn't it?
Yeah, at least, right?
I think so.
I know the figures started at 50 before they went down, right?
Yes, they did. They were at 50 and then they dropped down to 30, I think.
And at Ollie's you can pick them up for $7.
Yeah. I just, I would have gotten a starting lineup if they didn't do anything other than basketball. Like baseball, football, hockey, but like basketball is the one I just don't care about. I don't follow it.
Who would you have gotten? Who would be your starting lineup?
Oh man. Well, obviously it'd have to be like current characters, right? Or current players, because they didn't do any characters. The characters in this football show are pretty good. Someone's dating a pop star.
Yeah, I'd buy a Jason Kelsey figure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
You know what? Jason Kelsey, honestly, should be the Refrigerator Perry of the new G.I. Joe line.
Oh man, I completely agree with that.
Why isn't he there? Why isn't that thing that the G.I. Joe team is reaching out to do? Where's Jason Kelsey?
They have a football player. Fridge 2.
Jason Kelsey in the G.I. Joe line. Let's make this happen. Where's Dan? Get Dan on the line.
Yeah. But I would buy that because I lived in Kansas City for like 2 years in middle school. And like when you're there and everyone likes the Chiefs, you just like the Chiefs. So like I would care about that because I did like the Chiefs for a while.
Do you get a Travis Kelce?
Then I would move to San Diego, and I could not care any less about the Chargers. Yeah, I would.
So both Kelce brothers.
Kelce. I would, yeah.
Travis and Jason and G.I. Joe.
I would get a Travis Kelce.
What would be their code names?
Oh, I don't know. Pop star. Yeah, I do want a big lob though. I take the basketball thing back. If they made a big lob G.I. Joe figure,
have they talked about making a fridge?
I don't
figure.
Think so. Not that I've heard.
Because they made a Sergeant Slaughter, so they're not above.
Yeah.
Putting those kind of figures into the line,
no,
as far as
for sure not. Yeah. Well, I feel like Sergeant Slaughter was a pretty big part of the line for a long time. Like he did the promos for this.
Listen, I was there and a few years older than you.
Yeah.
I remember how big the fridge was. That was the big mail away figure to get the fridge.
Was it? I don't remember it being.
I remember the fridge being. I rember that sticker being on there.
Sure.
Check me on that. I'm pretty sure he was a mail away figure.
Oh, I know he was He definitely was a mail away figure. But I
remember him being a big addition to the line.
I just feel like overall Sergeant Slaughter had more staying. I mean, for a while,
Sergeant Slaughter had more staying power because they kept using him and they made him, and
they put him in the cartoon, and he was a big part of the cartoon.
But the fridge was, he was called the fridge. It was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous thing to have in the line.
Jim Mason says Jason Kelsey should be the Guzzler or just Guzzler.
Done.
It's not a bad idea.
Or we should name him after a Wawa hoagie, like the Gobbler. Or Shorty. He's a Wawa Shorty.
There you go.
Or just Wawa. Codename Wawa.
Isn't that like a gas station?
Oh, Mike. It's so much more than a gas station.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's
so
no
much more.
It's no Buc-ee's.
How dare you?
You're not going to convince me that a Wawa is anything like a
Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is like a cancer. It just keeps spreading.
It does. I was like,
what?
I've been once, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get this food.
Buc-ee's is like a redneck IKEA.
That's accurate. That's very accurate.
It is meant to get lost in. It is too much. It's just too much. You need to next time you're on the East Coast, you need to have a nice Wawa hoagie, and you will appreciate why they're so special.
I mean, I don't know how many Wawas they have in Jacksonville, Florida, where my parents live.
Oh, you know what? They are in Florida. They do have Wawas in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
In fact, I would guarantee you that there is a Wawa in Jacksonville.
I'm sure there is.
When are you heading back to Florida next?
June, actually, for my mom's retirement party.
What's your go-to hoagie order or sub? But when you go there, you better not call it a sub.
I'll call it a hoagie. I don't know, like anything with like turkey or provolone or pepperoni or
like an Italian
yeah.
go-to.
Yeah.
And the gobbler is a thing they have. It is roast turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy. It's basically a Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner, yeah.
It's It's an experience.
Sounds like it.
It's one to have. But yeah, no, Ollie's is it's sad how much stuff I will walk out of there that I do not need, or extra figures that I feel I should get because they're so cheap.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to cut down on, is buying stuff just to buy it.
I know, but you haven't walked through and seen.
I've got a Five Below,
but I do. But there are projects.
Yeah,
well, Five Below doesn't have anything anymore. When was the last time you walked through a Five Below?
No, they used to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anything in a Five Below,
Yeah.
and that used to be, as you said, like one of the go-to rounds. It
was.
seems like Ross's is drying up now.
Yeah, Ross usually cranks up around Christmas time.
But I think also this plays into Hasbro cutting back on their production numbers. Like, I think we're past the golden age of walking into Ross and seeing things you'd never expect to see.
No, I think 2023 was probably the height of it, and it's going to have a sharp decline now.
Because the stuff is just not there.
Yeah.
That was there when things were getting dumped from those lines. And the same with Ollie's. I think
like
Ollie's
I said, it was normal for Christmas. Christmas time, they usually do that. And what'll happen is stores like Target will save a lot of that stuff and then do a consignment or a shipment to.
But the fact that we're seeing Hasbro release more and more of these things as fan channel only, they're never making it to the brick and mortar stores that supply. So
although that's not entirely true. There was some, like, people found the Kenner styled Admiral Akbar that was a convention exclusive at Ross.
But didn't that eventually get offered? I mean, that's on Amazon right now, dirt cheap.
Yeah, it got offered everywhere. I'm just saying it started off as an exclusive,
right?
So things.
But that makes me wonder if that was also produced at a time in excess of numbers for that convention than it could ever have.
Yeah. Definitely was.
What convention was that?
That was
San
for
Diego, was it?
No, it was for London Comic-Con in 2022.
Oh, so that was still when things were in weird flux and they were ramping up their numbers on things.
Yes, they were.
So no, I think the age of that. So I wonder what's going to make it to clearance now, even.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm looking forward to that because it's not good for the line to have that much go to clearance all at once. Because I
mean, not stuff when it would go to clearance as soon as it showed up at the store.
Yeah, that I was so mad about, like, those Target 2-packs, the Cobb Vanth one, like 2 weeks after I got it, and already they dropped down to, like, $20 or $15. Like, that's ridiculous.
What did I say?
Ridiculous.
The Marvel Legends Avengers Anniversary stuff.
Yeah.
That I bought. I remember buying that Secret Wars Doctor Doom and Captain Marvel that came out.
Yeah.
Just because that's personal nostalgic favorite of that Doom. Buying it at full price because, like, I want to get this. This is the thing I'm excited about. I picked up another set of it at Target. This is 2 full-size Marvel Legends figures, exclusives, $7.
Ridiculous.
On clearance.
Ridiculous.
I was so mad, but also so happy that I got an extra set.
Sure.
$7.
Well,
but you can't walk by that.
It lowered your
I cannot
average of
walk
how much
by...
you spent on 2 at that point.
But they also got me.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I can walk by that kind of price on something and not just pick it up impulsively because it's so ridiculously cheap.
Think about all the money you're not spending.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I just wish we would see stuff that was not so expensive out of the gate.
Agreed.
Because I think there's a median price between those.
I feel like they're...
You think they're adjusting it back, and that's what we're seeing with these?
I do. I really do.
Because didn't they initially announce that R5 at 50 in the press release, and then...
Correct.
I mean, that set's not worth 50.
It's not.
That set's barely worth 45.
I disagree there. I think 45 is a good solid price tag for it. I think 50 is stretchable, but I feel like
I
would
think
do it.
I think 40 for repackaging of existing molds that they're not even going all out on the deco.
That's not wrong. That's pretty
I
accurate.
I think that, I mean, honestly, that's something in the past that probably would have been a deluxe price at like a 32.
Probably. I would say 30, 35, yeah.
So the fact that they're getting that much out of it even
Yeah.
is ridiculous, and not putting in the extra effort and giving us the jets that should have been in the R2 release.
Yeah. But I do feel like with the recent pricing of 2-packs being less than the price of like 2 figures individually, I feel like they're realizing that.
But it's also, they got to acknowledge that those are repurposed. All these 2-packs that we're getting is all existing mold stuff with just minor changes here and there. I mean, like that Mace Windu set. I mean, what's new on that? The arms and
the forearms,
and that's it.
That's it. It's a 2.0 clone body with, I mean, a new paint job, but that's it. And then the Mace has new forearms, and that's all he's different.
You know what still makes me mad? And just talking about this, this seemed like a spite move, and I want to see if you perceive it as a spite move too. Was when they released that Bad Batch Rex and didn't give him his pauldron to make it a full figure without that cloak. To where you could say, I got a Rex.
Yeah.
You didn't get the full Rex. The one thing that would have, like, that seems like, especially when you cancel an archive re-release of that.
Yeah. I think you can definitely see it that way. I think you can see it as spiteful, but I also think it wasn't a completely accurate figure. Also, like, I don't think
it's not a great figure.
He didn't have the binocular things in the show. That was something he probably had in the in.
But
like,
you can fudge that.
Art.
Like on my display, those are just rotated all the way back, so you don't even see it. If you can't get the original one at a decent price, which I couldn't at that time,
right?
I eventually found one at a decent price, but as just an available figure, to not do that, knowing that this is essentially your way of getting the figure back out in the line.
Sure. And
for people who don't have a Rex.
Yeah.
To not give and they did the same thing on the TVC figure too. In that box set.
That's what makes me think that maybe he didn't have it in the concept art. Or maybe they couldn't make it look good over the poncho.
Or just put it in the damn package.
Just put it in the package so you can make it yourself. Yeah. No, you're right.
That's I think because you already have that accessory. It's you have it.
Yeah.
Just put it in there for the people.
I mean, they made the shock trooper, and that one's got a pauldron you can easily remove. I mean, it's glued on, but it's not hard to.
Did you pick up anything from the Walmart sale that's been going on? The clearance?
There's nothing I didn't already have, and I just didn't want to buy stuff to buy stuff. Like I don't need more shock troopers on my shelves.
No, particularly when it's the old body.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is I'm trying now to. I completely phased out anything with a 1.0 body off my shelves, and I have some in the 2.0 body, but. You know, as 3.0 bodies come out, I'm gonna weed out the 2.0 bodies, which made me it soured the Mace Windu pack a little bit for me because that was a 2.0 body, and I'm like, why couldn't they just do it in the 3.0 body? Because I know
when you're releasing all these other stats with that body,
exactly. It's kind of annoying.
Who can we ask these questions? So, Steve, where's Steve? Do we say his name 3 times? How do we get Steve?
Steve Evans. Oh no, it's the guy from Hot Ones. Oh no, it's the wrong one. Oh no, it's Captain America. I didn't want that one.
Now you've done it.
No.
Now they're eating Hot Ones.
No, it's spreading. Someone save Conan.
Mr. Stevie. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, there you go. All right, you got it. No, Patrick's here. No.
He was really Patrick all along.
Oh, he just took off a mask. Like, Mission Impossible style.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you rotten kids.
If it wasn't for you entertainment expressions.
Oh, I want to retire that and content. Expressions and content. Let's just banish those words entirely.
Yeah.
They seem to be gone.
They do. I'm hoping they kind of go back to normal. I don't know how much of that was Patrick and how much of that was Lucasfilm. But
I think it's just company. It's just the company.
Yeah.
And you need to go to you've been broadcasting.
Yeah.
All night.
I'm going for 3.5 hours. I'm pretty high.
And the gauntlet's been thrown. The gauntlet's been thrown with Dan.
Yeah.
We're doing a marathon
We'll
at some point.
I think it'll be fun. Absolutely.
But hey.
Yeah. Thanks
good to
for
talk to
hopping on. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. You were the first person I sent a link to. It was you and then Frederick, and then I put one in the Shill Squad chat, and then I sent one to my friend Ryan. And for a while, my friend Ryan was the only one here, and that was nice.
And then he had to go?
Yeah, he had to go.
Oh, good. So we're working in shifts.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. Like maybe a few minutes after he left, you hopped on, so it worked out super well. Yeah.
Well, great. And you know what? We showed up. Just remember that for the future.
You did. Yep.
We showed up.
You showed
We'll
up.
go get some sleep.
I'm going to.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, go watch my videos. I've done some. I don't know. I'm not your dad. But thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later at some point. Bye.